Hey everybody, welcome to a news episode of the Phantom Zone where Arlen and I are outnumbered by the minorities. I'm Eric Fedorchak, your host for this evening. Who else is here with me?
Arlen Haro.
Lou Gonzalez.
In the 3 spot tonight.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
What did you call me?
What
did you call me?
Get the fuck?
You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, I'm Izza, aka Isaiah, and I'm Arlen's brother because Arlen's black.
This is canon, you know.
Retconned.
Yeah, crisis happened, and now
No, this is Arlen from another universe, who's actually the son of the Arlen from our universe, but he hit him
this is
there to
Arlen,
keep him
Arlen with the
safe.
goatee.
And for the first time, not talking to us at midnight when we're getting close to finishing, or talking to us from an Uber. Who else do we have here?
Leonardo Roberto Talavera Barroso.
Hey,
And you know who's
homie.
not here? Because he got scurred.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Connor's not here. He got scurred.
No, yeah.
yeah, among other things.
He zoomed on out of here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Me- The twist is that me and Leo, we form together and we become Connor, kind of like Firestorm from DC Comics.
I thought you were going to talk about. Oh man, what was that
Tormenta
old
Fuego?
Cartoon Network show, Minority Team?
Oh, man.
What?
That was
That show was
Teeny Funhouse,
hilarious.
I thought.
What?
You've
No.
never heard of this?
Wait, no,
Oh,
that was an
God.
actual cartoon.
Yes.
It made fun of a lot of racial stereotypes with like superheroes tropes. For example, they had a parody of Galactus called Balactus. It's like
Oh.
Michael Clark Duncan. As,
Do you remember how they defeated
What?
him?
Michael Clark Duncan?
I forgot how they defeated him.
They
Wait,
got
let
his
me look
baby
this
mama
up.
on the phone.
Oh God.
That's how they
Oh,
defeated
God.
him. Because he was like, saying that he
Minority?
was late on alimony and child support.
No.
They had well, the show was very
Minority
like
Team.
Yeah,
it's
I
making
just
fun
put
of
a picture
stereotypes
in
as
the
in, like,
thing.
It was probably
a lot of the villains. A lot of the villains
Go
were like white stereotypes. So it was the corporate ladder.
Oh, it
Uh,
doesn't work very well. The main villain was like what was it, Pyramid something?
White Shadow, the White Shadow.
Yeah.
No,
they
it's,
had-
it's fucking hilarious. The best fucking character, which proves that the writing was brilliant, was racist Frankenstein.
Racist Frankenstein. Yeah, the Professor X was Dr.
The
Wang.
fuck?
El Jefe was
Dr.
the Mexican guy. Fasto
Yeah.
is the black guy who could run fast.
Jucano was a Jewish
Jucano.
volcano guy.
I
He
vaguely
fights
remember this.
crime with the leaf blower 3000. Are you kidding me?
No,
The
but
Mexican,
listen,
no mames.
I think he's like
one of the funniest things
Punisher.
though. Racist Frankenstein's catchphrase is "Racist Frankenstein hate blacks." It's actually like really. It's not really trying to be like
Racist
offensive. It's more like making fun of the stereotypes.
Body
Right.
of a monster, the mind of a racist.
Yeah.
I'm just
Jesus.
envisioning.
So wait, it's the monster who's racist. It's not Dr. Frankenstein who's racist.
No, I have a picture. I'm posting it in the thing now.
I'm just envisioning
Perfect.
Balactus on Maury and being like, "That child isn't mine." And it's like a 30-foot tall child, like with the headdress on.
Racist
It doesn't
Frankenstein
even
hates
look
black
like me,
people and
Maury.
even black-colored objects. He is blonde and has blue skin. Racist
Perfect.
Frankenstein's catchphrase neatly summarizes his strategy for finding a minority. Racist Frankenstein hit blacks with hands.
My God.
It's funny as fuck. That's a great show. It's an underrated show.
I do
It went on
remember
for one
this.
season on Adult Swim. Okay, that's probably why
Yeah.
I wasn't on
Yeah.
Adult Swim.
Oh yeah, this
God.
is definitely like pretty early Adult Swim when they were like, whatever you want goes. Here, I have
Right.
a picture. I'll be dropping a picture of Galactus too.
I was 5 years old when this came out.
Yeah, that's why I don't because I'm not that much older, and yeah, this does not.
Yeah, I
register
remember
any
this.
It's
bells.
fucking great, man. It's a great show.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
Adult Swim used to have crazy shit on. Did any of you guys ever watch Freaknik?
No,
That was another crazy show.
You're saying
I mean, they
things
still
that I
have
remember
crazy shit.
vaguely. I
That
know,
was-
but it was a different type of crazy.
Yeah,
They
it was
had
like
a show.
well-
They had a show produced. I think like some of the guys from Outkast and like Killer Mike and all them and Big Boy. They had a show called That Crooked Sip, and it was like set in Mississippi. There's like this like white girl befriending all these like really hood like monster characters or something like that.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got some things to talk about. Amazing, there's news happening because people think COVID's over, even though it's not. So for our extensive speed round, the next
Well,
Jordan
do we
Peele.
want to talk about the thing Isa wanted to talk about first?
I
Oh
have a
yeah, if
question
you want to.
before we.
Yeah,
I
because
have a
that kind of
question.
leads into our first story.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, what's up, Leo?
I'm reading like the notes or whatever, and there's a giant omission from here,
What?
and
what
I'm
is
like,
it?
I'm like severely offended that you guys we're not gonna spend the whole time talking about the Bad Batch Star Wars new series gonna come out
I haven't even seen the trailer yet.
or the Obi-Wan casting. I thought that's what the whole show was gonna be about, just 2 hours of that.
Hey man, like
I
Star Wars is
mean-
cool, but that shit's old. That's for old people.
Yeah. Also, I try to tailor these based off who's going to be on. If I had known that was I should have known. I didn't know you were going to be on now. Otherwise, I would have added it. But yeah, usually go
it's
based
fine,
off.
I'm kidding.
Who's here. So, yeah.
But the show is what you had something, right?
Invincible. You guys watched that?
I
haven't
watched
gotten
the
around
first
to it.
episode.
I've
I
seen
watched the first two.
first episode. Yeah.
I watched the first two, and it's fucking amazing.
I
I
have
read
not
the
read the
first
comic.
50 something issues.
Yeah,
Like I read what was on Comixology, which is like 55 issues, I think. The first 10 volumes, the first 10 graphics.
Wow.
Yeah, I read
Yeah,
the
yeah.
entire series over COVID, and it's fucking phenomenal. So if it's as good as the comic, I need to check it out.
I hear people complaining
Yeah.
about the art style, but I actually love the art style. It's
It
very
looks great.
nostalgic to me. It's very Diniverse, Justice League.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
from what I've seen,
Yeah.
like it looks better than a lot of the stuff that just gets pumped out to die out there. So it looks.
It feels like it matches the
doesn't look
comic
like-
too.
Yeah, it doesn't look like low. Like it looks like high effort. Like it's stylized and good looking like art. Like it's not half-assed. You know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it's as violent as I've heard, then it sounds like it's holding pretty true to the comic.
Yeah,
the
it's
comic
pretty
goes to
violent.
some horrific places. Leo knows about this from reading the first 50 issues. He knows
Yeah,
exactly
I
how.
was like, I think I bought the first graphic like 5 years ago, like when I was in the comic book shop and everyone was talking about it. I think when it was going through that reboot, I don't know what it's called, but it said like, "Oh, Invincible reboot," and I was like, "Let me pick up the first graphic," and I read that, and there's a big twist by the end of the first graphic, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yep.
But for whatever reason, I didn't continue until like when the show was coming out. I was like, "Well, it's on Comixology, let me read it," and I'm gonna buy the rest of the compendiums that are on sale on Comixology.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, it's
I always heard about Invincible. Like, oh, that's just a comic that's out there. I didn't know much about it, so I was just like, oh, that's just a comic. I don't know what happens. And then
Right.
I recently heard about the show, and then I watched a YouTube video. Some guy explains like one of the first issues. I was like, okay, this seems interesting. So then I watched the show, like first 2 episodes, and it's fucking amazing. Like,
Yeah.
if you wanna read the comic.
I don't know if the show will be able to run as long as to tell the entire comic storyline, but I mean, I hope it does get a fair shake because there's some.
It's on
Apparently, there's a
Amazon.
twist. There's a twist that happens like really late in the comics that they kind of like skipped to. You know what I mean?
If it's
So they haven't,
if
We've all
it's
watched at least
what
the first episode, right?
I haven't seen it, but I mean, I know the comic like the back of my hand. So
Okay, well, I think we can at least talk about the first episode. I think Lou
So,
and Arlen
yeah.
them. So.
Super spoiler. I
Yeah,
guess.
I've seen the first episode. It ends in a pretty crazy place.
Yeah.
where does
yeah.
the first episode end at? Does it end
He
with
kills the team.
The super team.
Yeah, he
All right,
kills
yeah.
their very Justice
like-
League-esque team.
I had no warning of that. It was just like, hey, they all show up. They're like, and then like the last guy shows up, the Batman analog. They're like, why did you call us here? He's like, I didn't call us here. And then like, fucking the Flash guy pushes the one other guy out of the way as like Omni-Man about to punch his fucking face off. And
Oh,
like,
it
holy
was
shit.
it was actually very funny to watch post Snyder Cut.
Yes. There were a couple moments where I was like, "Did you plan this? Did you?"
Right? Like I was like, especially with that opening scene where the Flash guy pushes him out of the way, I'm like, and like he's following them, like, oh, like this is kind of funny to do it this way, but like I really dug it. Like their Aquaman, who's just like a merman, but he's a fish guy.
Yep.
Yes.
It's pretty cool though.
He's like
I
the
like him
Family
like that.
Guy mermaid.
Yeah.
He's the,
It's like, what would you want the
top.
other way? Then I wouldn't have a dick.
Also, like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of humor in it too. Like, the humor's really good.
Yep. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
it's,
the humor is very good. Yeah, it's very character based also, which is nice.
Well, and I think the one thing that's like very cool of it all is that that's what rolls in. It's like it's a very like our lead is a non-white character, like, and it's
Yeah.
not just non-white. He's an Asian character, which is like even more limited in
Well,
like
is he, like,
media, especially in
Technically,
superhero
he's
stuff.
mixed. He's half alien, half Asian.
Yeah,
yeah.
see, that's
yeah. We
one of the
get we
things
get
that I-
more aliens in live action than we do get like Asian people or in like
'Cause the,
superhero stuff.
the comic, I don't remember them specifically like stating if Mark was Caucasian or Asian. So I think that's actually a really
Yeah,
smart
'cause-
move.
Yeah.
From what
Yeah,
I've
well, they
seen
showed
so
his
far is that
mom.
a lot of the characters seem to be designed after what their voice actors are. Like Amber in the
Okay.
comic
Which is
is a
smart.
lily white girl, but she's
Mhm.
voiced by
Mm.
she's voiced by a black woman of color or whatever, a black woman I think, and so she's black in the thing. I think his best friend is gay. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
make
Yes, he
they
is.
make assumption that he's gay because his voice actor is gay, and,
No, he's gay.
cool
It's
things like that are
confirmed.
like
Like,
cool.
he actually like mentions being gay in the show. It's not a hidden thing.
Okay, I hadn't
well,
gotten to
that's
that yet, but yeah.
okay. Well, that's
Yeah.
something that happens in the comic too. That he actually
Yeah.
comes out as gay much later on. So yeah.
Oh,
So yeah. Okay.
They do
sounds
it by
like-
him actually saying that his dad, even though he doesn't know it's his dad, is hot, and that's how they.
Okay. Okay.
Oh
Yeah, because I mean that's the
Yeah.
thing. When this comic was coming out, like I want to say it was probably like maybe after 10 issues of The Walking Dead came out. So that should give you an idea how long ago it was that the comic was coming out. So
Mm.
having a gay character was actually, I don't want to say revolutionary at the time, but it was still kind of a big deal as opposed
Right.
to it just
Yeah,
being
and
pretty much part of the course now.
And just being there, not being like a focal point.
Exactly.
Mm.
Yeah.
But it does.
not
It gives
that
me
it's,
like.
sorry.
Go ahead,
go
Leo.
I say not that it's problematic, but the one of the in the since it started in 2002 2003, there are some in the comics at least there is some like I guess quote unquote not PC things, right? So that are in the comic, like when his
Mhm.
friend finds out that he's invincible, he like carries him and
Yeah.
like, there's like 5 or 6 times where they make the joke of like carrying someone who
Yeah,
can fly
this
carrying
is-
another
this is
person and just
gay.
being like
Yep.
oh, this is gay, and it's like, well, I mean, is it? And like obviously now I'm thinking about that now. If I had thought about that back then, I probably would have been like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
weird. But like
Yeah, I
yeah,
will-
so it's like
Yeah,
It's
I mean
interesting
that
just to see
definitely
that.
That's
is.
just era stuff that we have to deal with.
Yeah, I mean
No, no,
it's.
no.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's one of those things that like yeah, it's not great, but I don't know. It's just the language
Having a
at the
gay
time
character at that
sucked.
time is progressive in its own way.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
But I mean,
For like, yeah.
go ahead.
I was just say like it's very nostalgic to me from having not read the comic of like the super edgelordy like late 90s 2000s comics.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's-
but like in
that's
a
definitely
fun,
there.
cheeky, like it comes off to me as a satire, which I don't know if the comic is that, but that's how the show is coming off to me.
In some ways, the comic was definitely a satire, but I mean, in a lot of ways, it was trying to be like Image's Spider-Man, but trying to do something different, at least in like the feel, like, you know, young boy who,
Mhm.
not young boy, but teenager who learns he has his powers and is just trying to make his way in the world and become a better superhero and all that. But then also horrific
and
violence
that
because it's Kirkman.
yeah,
Yeah.
that part is actually done really really well in my opinion. Like the it's in the cartoon as well, like seeing, you know, Mark and his dad and like talking about these things of like having these powers, and like he's like, just because he has the powers doesn't mean that he's immediately confident. He's like worried and scared, and he's like, I don't know what the hell's gonna happen.
Oh, see,
And that
like,
happens in
my
the comics,
favorite,
too.
My
Yeah.
favorite part is like the conversation with the mom is so short. She's like, "It was you and me, and then our like your superpowered alien father, and now it's you guys and
Hmm
me." I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is
Yeah,
a great
that's pretty cool.
conversation."
Yeah, well, and that echoes something that, I mean, it's very similar to what happened in the comic, if I remember correctly. So, yeah,
Mhm.
it sounds like they're doing a pretty good job of like adapting and evolving as they need to.
Yeah.
And this is good. It
I'll
gives-
say that like from the show, I don't know much about the comics. They do a really good job of like balancing comedic stuff, like really good funny jokes, and also like really like gritty action, and then like
Yeah.
you know, the heartfelt family stuff too. Like it's a good balance, and they do it really well.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, nothing overstays its welcome, I would say. And then, sort of something that Eric said way at the beginning of this, the point about whether or not this will get a chance. I think it will, purely because
Amazon
it's
Prime
Amazon.
have. Yeah.
Well, and this also seems to be where Amazon is doing well when
with
it
the
comes to
boys,
comic adaptations. Yeah.
Well, it's smart.
I mean,
At least they're setting themselves apart. It's not like what is besides Umbrella Academy. What does Netflix have? Lock and
Well,
Key.
Netflix also
Lock and Key.
all
and,
of
a couple things.
Lock
yeah,
and Key
they
is
bought all of
not
one
good.
dude who we don't like.
I forgot
they
that
bought
that was even a thing.
Noir, yeah.
Yeah, actually,
Speaking of
Jupiter's
Edge.
Legacy is supposed to be coming out sometime in the near future, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. That's some 2000s Edward shit.
No, it's not.
No,
really.
he got there.
Yeah.
I feel like in my head he's like the antithesis of like that era of comics where like what's his name is like the 90s that made Deadpool.
Rob Liefeld.
Liefeld is the 90s, like ends up becoming bad 90s, and Millar's like bad 2000s. To me.
Yeah, it took him a while, but yeah, he got there. Yeah.
It's not even like enjoyable. Like it's not just like
Oh, the Ultimates, the Ultimates turns into like a fucking shit show. No, the Hulk is raping and eating people.
Yeah.
And then the Blob eats the Wasp.
Yeah, well, and the Hulk is angry that his girlfriend left him because she said something about Freddie Prinze Jr. being attractive. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So, actually, thank you for pointing that out, Arlen, because that does feed into the, like I said before, extensive speed round. Next Jordan Peele film casts Steven Yeun. Is it Yeun or Yoon?
I think it's Yoon.
I think it's Yoon, but I've heard both over the last 10 years.
I think he's Korean, right? So if he's Korean, it's Yoon.
Okay.
Yes, Steven
Yeun. Okay. Yeah.
So I would say that as I have family members with that last name, so I'm pretty sure it's Yoon.
I was going to say that would make sense. So,
and also I work with Koreans, and they've also said it's Yoon.
Okay. Well, there we go. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm a terrible racist.
So as long as you
calm down, Fedorchak. You have no. You're allowed to. Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm not allowed to be racist. Don't. What are you saying, Arlen? What are you saying?
I'm Arlen Harrow, the whitest man on earth. So I'm saying.
Question: is Arlen Harrow your real name?
You know the answer to that.
It's
the only person that was like, I'm gonna call his number when he puts it up, unlike everybody else who was like, no. So Leo's the only one in here who actually does know my legal name. Funnily enough,
I was like, huh?
Anyway,
I did not even know this. I'm stunned in silence.
Yeah, this is new lore to me. I didn't know this at all. The only thing I ever did with your phone number was text you something about Pennywise.
I just wrote it on a truck stop. Like
that would explain a lot. That would explain why I got a call from the Church of God, Florida, or something like that. Church of Our Lord,
Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints. So does anyone know what the new Jordan Peele film is going to be about, or is this just casting?
No idea.
This is just casting. This was the big one that was announced today, but it comes with also Keke Palmer is also supposed to be in the movie, and Daniel is coming back to be in this movie as well. I don't think it's a Get Out sequel. I wouldn't be a fan of that, but it would.
Keke Palmer from Keke and Michael on Good Morning America. Keke Palmer.
I don't think it's Keke Palmer.
Keke Palmer from McKean.
No, I'm telling you that's who that is.
Yeah.
So.
Wait, really?
Yeah, she has like a morning show on Good Morning America with like.
Oh, she does. I think she. Yeah, I
should.
Think, yeah.
Yeah, because Good Morning America was like, we're gonna change stuff by being.
Akilah and the Bee movies like a little girl, and then she became an adult, and then now she's
in the
I can't even imagine Eric watching Akilah and the Bee. I can't. The two things.
What was the J-Lo stripper movie? Because that was her biggest movie she did recently, right?
Which one?
What one? She was in Hustlers. Yes, she was
Hustlers, in. Because that's what's funny is like they both have done stripper movies. Because Michael Strahan is in Magic Mike too.
Oh,
Oh.
that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about Arlen's
Also,
stripper
Disney
movie?
Channel's Jump In. Anyways, we talked about Kiki Palmer way longer than I ever would have expected us to talk about it.
Which is
yeah.
pretty cool. It's pretty great.
So
Yeah.
that was that. The other speed round thing would be Netflix buying Knives Out 2 and 3. I don't know how I
Yes.
feel about
Is it
that.
just 2
Yeah,
and
it's
3,
weird
or is
that
it the
streaming
rights
services
to
are
do
just like-
sequels?
What was that?
Yeah.
Is it just 2 and 3, or is it the right to just like do whatever they want?
2 and
with it?
3 is what they're saying. They bought the next 2 follow-ups, but they spent $450 million, which says
I feel
to
like
me
that says to
something
me
else. Yeah, it's
Like,
like
production rights
they-
or something.
because it wouldn't cost $450 million even if the next 2 movies cost, I don't know, $150 million each. That would get you
Which-
another movie on top of that. I don't think they will cost 150 because Knives
No,
Out
you're just
one
paying for
cost
cast.
like that one cost $50 million with the cast that they had.
Yeah.
So let's say that they go up to 70 for the sequels. That's like 9-10 movies there, give or take.
Well, but you also have to think about the prestige that Knives Out got. Wasn't it nominated for Oscars? Didn't
it was
win?
nominated for
Remember.
3 Oscars, and I think it won at least 1.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
that's gonna bump up what I think anybody who was in the first one would ask for,
Right.
as much as they might have loved being in the first one, and as much
Well,
as
I
they
don't think
might.
they're gonna bring back too many
Well,
characters because
Yeah,
it
that's
would,
true.
I would think
That's
they
true.
could
It's gonna be
only
just
bring back
Yeah.
Daniel Craig. They can't really bring back any of the other
Yeah, that's
characters.
true. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, no, that's a
Yeah.
good point.
Yeah, I think I think they've talked about wanting to just bring back Trooper Wagner on top of Craig because it would be funny to somehow try to
Fanboy?
explain why he's there.
Who?
Yeah,
Fanboy?
yeah, that character, Little Boy Blue from Looper, and a million other things.
I don't.
Oh,
Super
so
Wagner, man. I don't know.
not what is it? The dude who was in Juice and the Black Messiah, and it was also from
Keith Stanfield.
from that's
No,
it.
no,
Thank you.
no, no,
No,
Yeah, I
for
couldn't
the
remember
horse
his name.
movie.
not Lakeith, because he's been in every Ryan movie. Because Trooper Wagner's been in. He was in Last Jedi also. He's the guy that gets blown up
Rip.
during the attack on the fleet. Yeah, rest in
I
peace.
barely. What character does he play in Knives Out?
He's Trooper Wagner is the character's name. He's in Brick and he's in. Have you not seen Looper?
I've seen
You-
Looper. I just don't remember who the fuck. Like, what was he doing? Looper?
He's the guy with the gat. He's the guy who's like, the shotgun's
Oh.
an imprecise weapon, and
I
then he's
literally,
like,
I am looking at his face, and I have no idea. Like, he just looks like white guy to me.
I mean, yes, that
What's
is
the- what's the actor's-
what
what's
he
the actor's
is.
Noah.
His name
Segan?
is Noah
Segan.
Segan. Yes.
Yeah.
He's been in a bunch of stuff. He's always like a background character. or
Knives
like
Out,
a-
Looper.
Does
Yeah.
that really count though? Like, was he
Okay.
being in a bunch of stuff if he's
So-
just Ryan's buddy and just shows up in the background?
I mean,
Yeah,
I-
no,
I'd
that's a good
say it
point.
counts.
He's a fire. He's a fireman in the episode Ozymandias. Wow.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, this guy is
Yeah,
really
he's-
like memorable. He's not really memorable to me. I don't
I'm
remember
literally
seeing him.
looking. Besides the movies I've seen him in, it's like Days of Our Lives is the next thing I've ever heard of.
Yeah,
Oh,
just-
he was
I
on
remember, I remember him in Knives
He was
Out,
on
but it's just like,
Kablam.
Well, he's been
Yeah.
in.
I don't-
He's in Dead Girl. He's one of the guys in Dead Girl. He's in Starry Eyes as well. Looking at him, looking at his.
I don't.
stuff.
I really only rember him from Knives Out. Like I don't
same.
remember much of anything else. I've seen some of these other movies you're
yeah,
talking about. I've
yeah.
seen Looper. I've seen Brick. I've seen Starry Eyes. So like, I
Well,
don't.
you know,
Looper's-
okay, look, no offense to
Looper's a
Arlen, but,
weird
like,
one for
there
me
are
because
hardly.
Yeah.
He's just
What was that?
he's just the white cop in.
No, I was gonna
movie,
say,
right?
I understand Arlen why he's so hooked on it is because there's not many white people in movies, so like this is the first
How
one,
dare you.
and he's so
Yeah.
he's so hooked
No,
on it.
he's the guy. He's the guy in Looper that Jeff Daniels is like treating like his like little son or whatever. That he's like all.
Yeah, he's the rival for
Yes.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character.
Yeah,
Listen,
he's
when are we
the
gonna
guy
get- when are we gonna get a
actually
movie with
jumps
the? It's about time we get a movie with a mostly white cast because I'm tired of all these Black Panthers and.
Yeah.
When's the white man gonna get a turn?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
it's-
yeah.
I mean, everybody
mhm.
keeps stealing so much from us. It's just terrible.
Fucking disgusting.
Muhammad Ali stole the storyline of Rocky, and that's fucked up.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
Well, we can move on to
Yeah.
like our next thing. Like speaking of a cast of white,
Right, yeah, I was just
Yeah.
I don't know how we got caught up in that. I don't know how we got there.
we're gonna add
Anyways,
Because-
another
because
Aussie
you were
to
talking
the
about random white guy, but yeah, we can get into some very white ass stuff, which is Norse mythology, and Russell
Yeah.
Crowe being cast in an unknown role in Thor 4, or
Yeah.
Love and Thunder, as it's actually known.
I mean, we can only speculate, but we can have fun
I'm
with
not
it too.
typing Love and Thunder, Eric. I'm not doing it. So don't. So
Why?
do
Why
not-
won't you
'cause
type Love and
he's-
Thunder?
because he's part of the patriarchy.
No, because I'm lazy. Is this not?
Okay.
I'm not doing that. Anyways,
Living up
he's
to
been
all those white
cast.
stereotypes, Arlen.
There are people who are saying that he's playing Thanos
it.
in a reenactment. I fully support this.
What?
Probably.
There are
I feel
people
like-
who claim he's playing Thanos in a reenactment. I don't
Have
know.
you not seen Ragnarok
how-
where they had a reenactment of some things where
I don't
Matt
think they would
Damon
do
and-
that
Yeah.
bit again.
Samuel?
Yes,
okay.
because
I
they've
don't
already
think
cast Melissa McCarthy as Hela in a reenactment.
Oh, wait,
Okay.
really?
They've already said
Okay.
that they're doing that again in this one. So him as Thanos as
It'd be
a
pretty
further
funny.
part of the reenactment. Yeah.
See, I would
it's
love
also
him being
perfect.
young
It's just-
Anthony Hopkins, like a young Odin flashback.
Well, they've already said that they're bringing back Sam Neill.
Wait, how would Russell Crowe look like a young Odin? He looked like a
Yeah,
equally as old
what?
Odin.
I don't know,
fucking-
younger Odin.
Well, especially if he's anything like he was in the movie Unhinged, which I watched today. Yeah,
God.
yeah, he's
Well, he could
definitely
also-
old Odin.
He could also be well from listening because I just listened. The Miles from J Miles Explain X, but they did like a spin-off podcast where they talked about Simonson's Thor run, and
Mm.
like there's a ton of characters that I would love Russell Crowe to play. Specifically, like Odin's grandfather would be a really fun character.
Bor or wait, is
No,
it
So-
Bor's the
Sure.
dad, and then there's a grandfather character. I can't remember the
See,
name.
if this announcement was that he's like on the movie set and he's going to be there for a while, he's shooting for a long period of time, that would be a reasonable thing.
Oh,
It's
It would mostly
just
be like a
one day.
one-shot thing of just being like
Yeah.
shoulder
So-
padding, and he wrestles Thor at one point.
Yeah, because man,
What-
Russell
What if
Crowe,
he's
he's
not
got a
playing
really
as
busy
Guardian
schedule.
though? Like, what if he's not playing as
Right.
Guardian? Because they go to other places
Yeah.
in space. He could be playing another celestial character.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
do think he will be an Asgardian because, and this is leading back to another podcast I listened to from Australia called Hey Fam,
Mhm.
Mm.
and one of the guys on there kind of not leaked it, but he like talked about it like a week before it got announced because his friend apparently is a dancer, and he was a dancer on set of Love and Thunder, and he said
Oh.
he was shooting like a festival scene with him, Russell Crowe, Thor, what's her face? God damn it, I forget her name. Tessa
Natalie
Thompson.
Portman. Oh.
Tessa Thompson, Natalie Portman, and like all the Asgardian characters, and they're shooting like a festival, and that
Okay.
Russell Crowe was there, and he
He's
said
drunk.
that, and then he said that. Then like a week later, it came out, and I was like, oh shit, it was real.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, maybe he
okay.
is playing
I
as
think
Guardian.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
So
just
again,
wondering
I
who
don't
it
know
could
how
be then.
much is that. Yeah.
Maybe
You
he's
know what
playing
we-
Beta Ray Bill.
I was gonna say
Baldur.
what character we haven't seen, and especially because
Baldur.
the Warriors 3 are all dead. We have
Yeah.
not seen Baldur.
Yeah,
That could be an
Oh
interesting
yeah, that
take
was,
on him.
yeah.
To
Yeah,
have
was
like
always something
older
that I was
Baldur.
Yeah, where he's given into his mythos, and he's yeah, I could see that.
Because
the thing
apparently-
with Marvel though, the
Hmm.
MCU so far. I didn't. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
I feel like people always speculate where it's like, oh, this could be this. It could be like a new character or like a minor obscure character.
Oh,
that, you
Yeah,
know?
it's
Yeah.
probably like that goofy scene like we were talking about, but like there's
Yeah.
so many fun characters from the play. And when I was listening to that podcast, Walt Simonson said that like he was on the set of Thor, and they had like a helmet for Baldur and like designs and
Hmm.
stuff, and they just didn't use him in the script.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
Hmm.
And
Well, I
He's
guess
a
we'll see.
pretty big Thor character that we haven't
Yeah,
seen.
he
Like,
is.
Nathan Fillion was going to be Wonder Man in like a cameo in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 that got cut.
Yeah.
well,
They're like,
he's
no,
in it. It's just a poster. That's all it ever
Yeah,
was.
that's what Gunn had said, was like he wanted to do a cameo shot or a scene for him, but he just couldn't get around to it. So the best he could do was do that poster. But yeah, I mean, and that's something that could play in later if Vision is still going to be a part of the MCU going forward.
Mhm.
So anybody else have anything else they want to add about Big Bloated Russell Crowe, or we want to move on to the DC block?
Unhinged.
Yeah,
is
Russell
it over
Crowe's
now?
enough talk about with him.
Yeah, I think there is. I mean,
in
unless
news
we
that
want
we
to talk
knew
about
was good-
30 odd Foot of Grunts, his amazing band.
I was gonna say in news we all knew but hasn't been confirmed.
Yeah. And is it real quick? Yeah, that was the name of the band that Russell Crowe was in. 30 odd Foot of Grunts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Their cult
That's
didn't
weird.
take off as good as Leto's.
No, or
Yeah.
Dog Star. What was it? Keanu Reeves
Or
band.
Hollywood Vampires.
God, wait,
Well,
what? Who was in that?
That's Johnny
That-
Depp and like a couple other people.
Oh,
Isn't it? Yeah, I think it's him,
God.
not Keanu. Fucking, is it Christian Slater?
Looking it up right now. Who's
who
in this
knows?
band. It's
Do we
It could
really
be any number
care?
of people.
No,
No,
it doesn't
okay, so
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
the DC block.
no. You need to know. It's Alice Cooper, Johnny Depp, Joe Perry.
Okay, well, Alice Cooper and Joe Perry, that's cheating. That's not the same thing.
yeah.
That's not.
And former members are Duff McKagan.
He had a
Oh,
song
okay.
called
So
I
it
Wanna
was
Be
just
Like Marlon
it was
Brando.
just
There's Johnny Depp with like famous people who can actually play.
Right, it's
Yeah.
Johnny Depp with accomplished
Musicians.
musicians.
people who want to hang out with Johnny Depp.
and
Right.
musicians he did cocaine with at the Viper Room.
Exactly.
So yeah, not really shocking news, but still kind of sucks.
Sad.
New Gods
Yeah.
is dead.
Yeah.
Dead.
Well,
And-
before we get too deep into that, Isa did bring up the Batman on Earth 2 thing, which wasn't
what
really
did you just call him?
is whatever. I just say both. Whatever comes out of my mouth.
Arlen
Um,
cannot not be white.
Yeah.
It's true. Even though I'm canon not. So
Gentrify my name.
Batman Earth 2 thing, which wasn't really a story in quotes. It's more just like a thing that has slowly been confirmed. And that's why it's like, okay, cool. It takes place on Earth 2. What the fuck does that mean for anything? Who cares?
It
Yeah.
doesn't mean anything because
But
the
it's-
stuff that's on the same way still is incoherent. So
Exactly.
It's like-
So what's Earth
It has
1?
no real relevance to anyone who's actually sitting down and watching these movies.
Does
But
that mean CW is Earth 1?
No, I don't think they're meaning it like the Earth 2 from the comics. I mean, I think they're just meaning Earth 1 is the one where everything that's Warner Brothers has released so far movie-wise is
That
Earth 1.
the Snyder connected stuff is Earth 1?
I guess, but I mean,
Yes.
I would like Shazam and all, and Wonder Woman and all that. Yeah, that's
Well, you
Earth
could even
1.
say Shazam's not even part of that because all you see is a fucking batarang.
Well, no, you see them. They both show
Yeah,
up
you-
at the end of the movie, if you remember.
Yeah, they
but
have, like-
do we see
Yeah.
their faces?
No, you don't
No,
see
they
their
do.
faces. But
It's Superman.
it's still
Yeah.
Superman and
Yeah.
Batman. Yeah.
Yeah, but it could be any Superman.
Oh, stop it!
Oh,
God damn it.
Lou,
Stop
come
it.
on. Yeah.
You don't
Lou
think he's
Ferrigno,
hanging out
please stop.
with
Enough of that.
He can't hear you if he's Lou Ferrigno. But yeah, so it's them saying it's Earth 2 is they might as well just say it's a different Earth.
Right.
I don't think they understood what can of worms they were opening up by
No.
saying Earth 2.
Yeah.
You're telling me
Yeah.
the people at Warner Brothers don't know what they're doing when it comes to
Yeah,
Shocking.
that's the other thing. It matters even less when you're like, there is no interconnected universe. We don't. none of
matters
these
even
things
less
will
when
matter
there's-
until we
There's
say
now
it does.
a slightly extended cut of the Snyder cut
Mhm.
Well,
because we
that
had
was-
to add back in a line.
well,
Or was that
that's-
was that
Living in
April
society?
Fool's? Was that even real?
I heard about it. I don't know if it's real.
Yeah, I'm not
Does
going
it-
back.
I
To
feel
find
like
out.
if it's an April Fool's joke, it's so dumb because it probably I could see them doing it,
It
Yeah.
sounds like it could be real though. It's the weird part,
and I don't care
Mhm.
enough to rewatch 18 hours of that.
So,
Mhm.
anyways, New Gods.
Yes.
I'm
Is-
kind of
yeah.
bummed that New Gods is dead.
I-
Not just my morbid curiosity to see what
Right.
they do with
Yeah,
it, but
they're gonna do
just
some really cool
because-
stuff.
yeah, well, I mean,
Well,
Tom
especially,
King
like,
was involved with
Yeah,
it.
Tom
so,
King was brought on to write like a year ago.
hmm
And Ava DuVernay, they're gonna do like the Scott Free stuff and Big Barda.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know about like I don't necessarily like cry over her being gone, but just the fact that it's not being done because I love that shit.
Oh, so you don't like women?
The executives are like,
No,
hey,
no,
we're
no,
not gonna
no,
have a
it's
black
just-
woman direct this.
Yeah.
It's a bridge
You
too
can be
far to have
you're
a
allowed.
woman in
I
it
can
too.
I can deal with one or the other, not both.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ!
The executive just realized that. Wait a minute, who's directing this? Oh, we can't have a black woman do it.
Well, I feel like with them announcing this, and isn't that one of the other stories with James Wan?
Not doing.
doing
Yeah.
the Rift or the is it the
Trench.
Rift?
That makes
that was
sense. Yeah,
part
it
of
was
the
We're all waiting
same.
for that one.
Okay,
It was
We're
the
all waiting for
spin off
that
of
one.
Aquaman.
That was part
Well-
of the same thing, and so there's a difference here. They like fully canceled New Gods. The Trench has
Mhm.
been put on the back burner indefinitely, which is two different versions of it's
The
not
same thing.
happening.
Yeah.
Just
Who
one is
asked
like
for the
we're
trench? Who asked for the trench?
I did.
I don't know.
I want the Trench.
Why?
I still want
Why?
the Trench
Because
It
he's a
was
James
because
Wan
I
It was
fanboy.
love
one good
movies,
shot.
Because I love
It was
James
one
Wan.
good shot. It was one
James
good
Wan is
shot.
pretty good.
What are
It's
you
the
talking
story-
about? There are like 15 amazing moments from just the Trench part of that movie alone.
Okay, but it's
I-
5 minutes. It's 5
I
minutes.
can tell you
my
though,
guy.
like from the comic it comes from, like, they pretty much did the thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
that
anything
movie-
else is him making it up.
A
Which is
movie
fine.
that isn't Aquaman fighting the Trench would be terrifying. I'm coming at this more as like a horror fan. Give me horror stuff with
Well,
those
what if we just
things.
take that money for the Trents and just be like, hey, James Wan, do some more Swamp Thing.
I mean, so
Yeah.
here's the thing,
Oh my
Lou.
god, yes.
We can have both. We can do
We're not
both
talking
those
about a
One is
company
cool,
that
one is
can
not.
do. We're talking about a company that can barely chew gum, let alone chew gum and walk.
Yes,
I feel like,
but here's the thing.
yeah.
They're also making 17 Aquamans at the bare minimum, from everything that I
Yeah,
understand.
and depending
They
which one you watch,
greenlit
will
like
depend
5
on,
Aquamans after the movie
Yeah.
came out.
There'll be
um,
different actresses playing Mara. Some will have British accents, some won't.
So
Ugh.
they can do the Trench. They can sink
will talk
$50
in
million
bubbles.
into a Trench movie that only I will watch. And it'll be fine. There's no problem. There's no reason not to bring this back.
I
So-
would sarcastically say what a sound investment, but WB has proven that they're not good at making sound
Actually,
investments.
I was
either.
gonna say,
Hey,
like,
hey, guys, I feel like
So why
if we-
can't I benefit?
I feel like if we actually like broke into the headquarters and like try to meet the executives are just like a baby, a malfunctioning robot, and like a blobfish. You're like,
Oh,
I
I
this
think
is-
you're giving
yeah,
them too much
this
credit.
makes it-
I think of
Yeah.
them as the executives from Futurama, where they're just 3 computers that just like.
Yeah,
But I think maybe we should talk about for at least a second, like the kind of the numbers from the Snyder Cut.
Well, I mean, it's.
so-
the one thing I did want to say about
Yeah.
New Gods was just it's a bummer because I feel like after the Snyder Cut has, in theory, done as well as it has, like I feel like Warner Brothers is taking the wrong message from it, and this feels like them wiping this off the board because it might have been connected more to the Snyder Cut, or because they don't want to confuse people with the things that happened in the Snyder Cut.
Oh
That's
no!
just a
I saw
theory.
a thing that saw a thing that said I don't know if it's the official word, but it said like the reason why they did it is because it had Darkseid in it,
Outside? Yeah.
and he was going to be in the New
I
Gods. And
mean-
like, well, he's not going to.
Yeah.
This is not canon, so let's just what I don't know. It's weird.
I mean, so I think all these things are a little bit true. I think that when they initially greenlit this movie, they weren't sure how much of the original plans about Darkseid and all that stuff were gonna come through. They didn't know how much they were going to be following that, how much they were going to care about a universe. And that's when they greenlit this. They were still in a mode of, well, this could go there. We could bring back a Justice League again. We could do another film. I think that they're at the point where Justice League could happen 5 years from now, or Justice League 2, or Justice League 2 could happen 15 years from now. And both things are plausible, I think, from Warner Brothers' point of view. So they're getting rid of
I
this
think
because
that's
this made
crazy,
sense. This made sense when Justice League 2 was definitely on the horizon for them.
Yeah.
I'm
that I
guessing.
agree with you. I feel like they have to know that Cavill. I feel like Cavill's just like fucking done with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would put more money that he shows up in the MCU than in another DC film.
Oh, he will,
Yeah.
and he'll play. He'll be. What's that team that's making fun of the Justice League?
I was gonna say, yeah, he'll play Hyperion,
Or the
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean,
or he could be the Sentry, which would also be fun.
That would be great.
The
Or he could
Sentry,
be the Great Lakes
yeah.
Avengers.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
You
Or
know,
be
I
like
mean,
Mr.
there was
Fantastic or something.
there was a rumor that he was going to be in Captain Marvel 2. Now, I don't think there's any real truth behind that, but it was
What the hell
picking up
would
some
he
steam
even
here.
be?
I don't know. People were saying he would play Wolverine in it. So that
Hey,
should give you an
Yeah,
idea.
because every
Guys.
time we have a Wolverine, we got to make him taller.
What's
Guys, hear me out. Hear me out. Henry Cavill is Beta Ray Bill.
He would be down.
That would be really funny, and I actually think he'd be down.
Give
for
it to
'cause
me.
He's a fucking nerd, so like he
Yes.
would be
Yeah.
in the Thor shit, which would be fun.
Oh yeah.
Also, Ray
Absolutely.
Fisher would probably be in some Marvel shit soon, you know?
Oh no, that's
Yeah.
100% going to happen. If
He
the
needs to play
contract is
Deathlock.
locked already.
Just give him
That's
Deathlock.
Yes.
So he can,
okay.
Or, no, give him a completely different fucking like characters, not even a like, you know what I mean? Like so out of
Yeah, but
shit
it-
where he's like playing, I don't know.
Right,
Make
but
him,
the
like-
joke of him playing Deathlock is too good.
Would be
though. It's
great. Yeah, it would be pretty- Yeah.
Or
It's
just
that's
start
why I
that
want
rumor.
Cavill to play the Superman character. The
Hyperion.
Skeleton Supreme. Yeah, Hyperion.
Yeah, Hyperion, yeah.
Yeah.
Hyperion,
Especially if they,
Yeah.
especially if they make him like evil version, and they just make it like he's just the Snyder Superman.
Jesus Christ.
Damn.
It's just Marvel just shoving it in their fucking face. I would.
Hey,
love-
Make
we
him the
already
Human
know
Torch.
they have one of the Batman.
That's true.
I mean,
No, wait, no, they have two because they got Keaton too. Keaton was Vulture, and now we have what's his name in Thor.
Well,
Yeah.
as
yeah,
Thor.
the Lawrence Fishburne, fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Did we want to touch on the story that came out about the purported numbers of watchers for Zack Snyder's Justice League?
Go
Like
ahead.
there were.
Yeah.
Why don't we just do a quick
I
hit
don't
on
know
it?
about. I don't know about it. I don't know the.
I just
I-
People don't like the movie.
What?
No, there was like a third party group that that
Mhm.
was able to do whatever calculations and based on the information figure out how many people actually watched all of the Snyderverse cut
all
or
4
the
hours.
Snyder cut, all 4 hours, and apparently it was only about 800,000 people. Like,
Yeah.
because the way the metric worked is that if you watched, what was it, like 5 minutes?
I think it was 4 minutes. It
4 or 5
counted it
minutes.
as a watch.
It counted as a watch. So there's a ton of people that didn't actually watch the whole thing. And
They started
Only
and didn't finish.
36% of viewers finished Zack Snyder's Justice League in its first week.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's exactly the story.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
it's
4 hours.
it's hyper relevant because there are a lot of people trying to say like that the numbers were crazy or that they were super good.
Bring back the Snyderverse.
Mhm.
Right. And they're using the fact that it was successful based on that metric, and like those are not bring back the Snyderverse.
And that's not even
numbers.
the numbers that Warner Brothers is going to look at. They're going to look at
No.
spike
New
in
subscriptions.
subs, in subs,
Well, they're
and then
going to look at new
not just that,
subscriptions and
and
they're going to look at
holdovers.
retention. They're going to
Yeah.
they're going to look at how many people keep their subscription after the fact,
Yep.
and how many people immediately just drop it after they're done watching the Snyder Cut. That's a much bigger metric for them,
Yeah.
and that's
Mhm.
that's part of this whole experiment of let's release these movies directly. Because if they have enough retention overall over all of these months, they'll do this again. They'll
Mhm.
bring this back as soon as they possibly can.
You're saying that we're gonna
Assuming
get
it
an
doesn't
air
hurt
cut?
their relationship with theaters. What was
Yeah.
that?
we're going to get an air cut. Is that what you're saying?
No,
That's
no,
the less than Warner Brothers.
I mean,
earns?
like,
He
I
means
mean, King
movies
Kong
that
versus
are-
Godzilla. Yes,
I'm making a joke. I'm joking.
I'm, Dune and so on and so forth, Mortal Kombat, all that
Well,
stuff.
Let's be
Yeah.
honest, Dune wasn't gonna do that well in the theaters as much as I wanted to.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Like I want to see it, but I doubt many people are just like.
Yeah.
It's not as popular as like fucking.
Like
a lot of things.
I mean,
forced more people to watch, like 3 people to watch Kong versus Godzilla that would never have seen it otherwise.
right?
Yeah. But I'm saying like Dune is not going to draw. I don't think it's going to draw as big numbers.
That and the
I definitely
director-
agree. Yeah,
Oh, go
I
ahead.
definitely agree with you, Eric, on like the problems with Dune. But at the same time, I could see the first 2 movies they said that they were doing really well and people really liking them. And then once they get to like the sequel stuff, seeing a giant drop off.
Yeah, no, I no,
Yeah.
like no.
I feel like Dune's gonna be a lot like the Blade Runner movies. Both of them are good movies, but they just they didn't do big numbers. In
Well, the
box
difference
office.
is that Dune is like could fit into the Star Wars void.
It
For
should,
the first
but
few,
It should.
yeah.
it
Yeah.
should, but then when it starts
Lightsabers, though.
getting into insane religious politics and everything else,
Well, I know they
including-
already dropped. They're not using the word jihad, which makes sense.
Did they announce that they're not, or did they just?
I
not
think
use it
it's
in
been
the
said.
trailer.
I think it's been said that
Yeah.
they're not using the word.
Yeah,
at all.
because they talked
Period.
about that in Dune Cast.
But
also.
that's a fucking important part of. Okay.
They're using
know,
a different.
Eric,
they're using a
Eric, I
different
agree with you.
phrase.
But
They're
I
using a different
understand.
phrase where they're not
You
specifically
guys,
saying. the
reminded me
word
of a joke that I
jihad.
have later for Space Jam.
Okay,
I call it
okay.
jihad on Space Jam, and we can get there.
But anyways, like again, on the whole the Snyder Cut, those are not numbers to bring back the Snyder Cut. I said this before the Snyder Cut even came out. If it got insane numbers, if it got a huge increase in overall subscribers to HBO Max, if it got like multiple millions of people watching it from beginning to end, so on and so forth, there's a chance that they bring it back in some form. They make it into like a mini series thing they do
At
every
this
once
point,
in a while.
I bet Space Jam gets more retention than Snyder Cut.
Probably because it's not catering to this like subsection of a subsection of a subsection of fans. It's
Yeah,
much
the edgelordiest of the edgelords.
right.
Yep.
If you're old enough,
Aren't
you
they
lived
supposed to
through
watch
the
it 6
'90s. And
times?
Wait, what was that, Leo?
I said, weren't they supposed to watch it like 6 times, one for each of the Avengers, or so, or the Justice League or
Something-
whatever? Because like,
Some
because
ridiculous
like
shit.
we have to
That was-
support Zach, which is fine, but
Yeah.
like 800,000. That's
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I'm
what,
not watching that.
less than $1 million? How much did they put into the
Right.
movie?
75 million
That's
plus
yeah.
the-
Verga's way.
plus the
After.
almost 200.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's no, it's a bridge too far for them to cross at this point. And
I'm waiting for like a new cut of Jonah Hex.
I'm just waiting for the Flash movie whenever it comes out to basically erase
Hey,
this entire.
I will say it every
universe.
single time. The person who's won the most from the pandemic, Ezra Miller.
Mhm. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
because
pretty
he
much.
wasn't immediately fired for choking a woman on camera.
It's like, oh my god,
Yeah.
he choked a woman. Oh wait, we all have to go inside. What happened?
Yeah, distracted from it. Also,
So-
I think because of the vagueness of the video, it's like she's kind of laughing, and he seemed like he wasn't really like putting force. So it's like, what's going on here?
Well,
Is this playful? Is
yeah.
it not?
Yeah,
It-
yeah, there was
he
no
wasn't
follow-up.
like
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I am not someone
Yeah.
to judge someone else on 6 seconds of footage. Don't ask
Right.
me about my opinion. It doesn't matter.
yeah. I think
I'm
it was,
looking-
From my
It's just
opinion,
more
like,
like-
the first time I saw it, I was like, what is he doing, dude? And then I was like, watch it again. And it's like he's kind of like gently like pushing her, and like
Yeah.
she's laughing
He's
the whole
trying.
time.
He's,
So I'm
he's
like,
trying to explain to her how the Flash runs in the
Right.
Snyder Cut.
yeah. God damn it.
All right, so
Speak-
moving on to other DC stuff.
Older
Pierce-
white men.
Yes, older British white men, the whitest of white men.
Is this your
Pierce Bro-
brother, Eric?
No, my brother isn't quite that white. Pierce Brosnan was cast as Dr. Fate in Black Adam, which
Can I ask a
great.
question? Did they said Dr. Fate?
Yeah.
I really hope that he's just Naboo.
that's kind of what my thinking was, but they're gonna want to show his face. That's
I
the
said,
thing.
like,
Have a
well,
white
we
man
talked
as
about-
Naboo?
Well,
So,
No,
but, like,
is he the
it's
body that
ancient
Dr. Fate
sorcerers.
puts the helmet on? Like, you know what I mean? Is
well,
the
no.
guy
See, I
wearing
think
the
it's the
helmet?
opposite. I would love if like it's a big reveal at the end of the movie when he takes his helmet off, and it's like the dumpiest of dudes.
Make him the stripper version. I like that version.
I think
Make
in
the
my
what
in my
version?
head, I was like, he takes off the
stripper
helmet,
version.
and it's just like
yes.
we let Mark Hamill go off. But
No,
that's
Channing
who's under
Tatum.
the helmet.
Is this Channing Tatum's dumbass under the
Oh
helmet?
my
Oh,
god, yes.
The
Yes.
stripper
Oh.
version from the
And then have
Flash
him
animated movie.
Yeah.
And then have him dance to Pony by Genuine.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That would actually be. I would actually be down for it. That it's the stripper that has the helmet.
Uh-huh.
From
Yes. Oh,
I mean,
that's so good.
in some ways, I think that would be good if they just had Pierce Brosnan as the voice, because they didn't say he was going to be playing whichever
Kent
version.
Nelson.
Yeah, Ted Nelson, or
No.
there was another. I forget.
Well,
which,
the newer one is Khaled. I can't remember his
I
name.
don't know who that is. I have no idea who that is.
He's the New 52 and now Rebirth version, who's actually like I like him as a character.
Well, what about
The past
what about
two have been people of color.
Well, there was the one Dr. Fate that had like the red symbol on his face and had black hair and didn't wear the helmet. He had a knife that was made out of the helmet. Yeah, this was some 90s ass shit.
Yeah, that's like not my time with DC.
Yeah, I never read it. I just knew of him because he showed
Oh,
up
yeah.
occasionally in comics in the
Didn't
past.
he like melt the helmet down or something? He like
Something
melted it
like
down and
that.
it was,
Yeah.
Okay.
Stupid shit.
Yeah, I like Khaled, which is the New 52, which is basically like they Blue Beetle eyes, but made like, oh, it's this like kind of Araby thing. Why don't we make him actually someone who's Middle Eastern?
Okay,
And like
that,
Yeah.
Khaled is very cool. He's like in his 20s. And in the Rebirth, he is Kent Nelson's what do you call it, intern.
okay.
And then Kent sacrifices himself and Khaled puts the helmet on.
Yeah, Dr. Fate is somebody that I really know almost nothing about, other than like, all right, he's the big mystic guy. All right.
I
Yeah,
do have
mostly-
a question though, like depending on what's his face, the actor, I forget his name, Pierce Brosnan. Depending on
Mhm.
what he plays, is he gonna be in helmet the whole time? Because that's kind of like the thing about Dr. Fate is that the human never is able really to remove the helmet.
Yeah, well, that's
So,
what I'm
like-
saying. Like, I think it makes more sense because so the character, everyone's like, oh, he's like their Doctor Strange. He's really not.
Yeah.
Because Dr. Fate
He's cooler.
he's
cooler.
he's the magic guy, but it's like there's a dude and then there's the helmet.
Yeah.
And like the helmet has its own.
I think people
personality.
compare them as in their role, as in like, hey,
They're
kind
the
of like,
magic. Yeah,
Right.
but then actually
Yeah.
they're kind of very different because like Doctor Strange is
Mm.
much more like trying to help people, and Dr. Fate's like mostly a douche because he's all about
Yeah.
order and keeping the order of things because that's what Naboo is. He's like the
The
he's
God of
from, like-
Order, I thought.
yeah, he's the god of order, and he's like one of the first magicians of the world. Because I think there's like a
Call
cool
Sorcerer
book.
Magician?
Yeah, there's a cool book that they did at one point where it's like kind of like a proto Justice League, and it's like in like the 70s, I think, and it's like Naboo, Arlen, who's like the king of Atlantis, and like a couple other characters, like precursor characters, and it's from like the 70s or 80s.
Such
And
a
yeah.
design, Jesus.
Yeah,
yeah, like,
that,
and
that
Naboo was
picture I posted.
Yeah, and Naboo is like a tool. Like he's mostly been the villain recently in like all the dark Justice League dark stuff.
That seems predictable and kind of cliche.
Well, it's like he's one of the two antagonists. It's like there's the chaos stuff of like who's the big female witch in like Greek mythology?
Arrow?
Hecate?
Yeah, Hecate.
Hecate, that's it.
Hecate. It's like they've been stuck between like Hecate and Dr. Fate.
Okay.
And like
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. And it was I don't know.
I
don't
you
know.
know,
I guess before we move on, what is everyone's thoughts on the Black Adam movie in general? Because I, for one, am not
I
that
don't
excited.
understand
I
how it's a
don't.
movie.
I still don't know what to expect. I like the casting. I just don't know like what
I-
the story's like. What's
I
this
like the
movie gonna be?
physicality of the casting, but like Samoan
I-
and Arab aren't the same thing.
I like
No,
The
but
Rock as an
still-
actor, and you
Yeah.
know, I'll give anything he's in a fair shake. But yeah, I don't know, it's weird. Like it
It's-
seems like the
And
honest.
he's at best he's like a really barely an anti-hero. Like barely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's very much taking
Yeah.
this character and like being like, but he's a good guy though. It's like not really, bro. Like he's
No.
punched
Yeah.
people's heads off before.
He's
and
pretty
he's-
much magic
no.
like more magical Doctor Doom.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
he's like a couple steps away from being like genocidal for his country. Like,
Yeah. He's in between Doctor Doom and Magneto in his his villainness. Like he's more evil than Magneto, but he's not as bad as Doctor Doom.
Yeah, I don't see him like standing next to I don't see him standing next to like Billy Batson and being like, and like him leaving being like, I'm not that bad. Like it's nah, bro. Like he legitimately tries to kill Billy Batson.
Well, here's my thought: have they said anything about the plot? Because the only way I could see this working.
Not really.
I mean, they haven't said anything, but So I'm just gonna do a lot of hypothesizing here for a second, because I rewatched Shazam fairly recently, and they talk about I don't know how close this is to the books. They talk about how he showed himself to be unworthy because of his search or because of his quest for revenge. Is the wording that they use in the movie. His quest for revenge.
That's them taking
him to
tons
darkness.
of liberties already.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if it's that. I'm wondering if this is like a historical period piece, not unlike the movie The Scorpion King.
So here's, based on that, because I forgot that, here's the parts that make sense. So at some point in the books, I think, was it during 52, not New 52, 52, he finds a woman who he's going to marry, who is Isis.
Yep.
Shit happens. I don't remember what happens, and she gets killed.
His son and his wife get killed by I think a earthbound version of Sobek. Is that the alligator god?
Yeah, the crocodile. Okay, yeah. So she has a brother who becomes Kid Adam, and he makes his own Marvel family, and he becomes friends with Sobek, who's like kind of like Killer Croc, but he might be part of the gods. But he's set there. It's all part of it's not Final Crisis. It's Infinite Crisis.
I think. I can't remember.
Yeah, and basically, the kid and the wife get killed.
Yeah.
And they were the ones making Adam like a good guy, and then once she's gone, he just fucking starts annihilating the world.
Yep. Yeah, so he's
they were slaves, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah, it's been a while. I wanted to reread 52, but I can't find the omnibus.
Yeah, anyway. I think I read it last year, and I think they were slaves, and she's basically everything good about him. So it is kind of very Scorpion King, but that's all like modern day. Because originally, he's not the person that's supposed to get the Shazam power. It's his nephew, and he kills his nephew, makes him like part of his family, and then he kills the nephew.
Oh, cool.
In the I think originally, and then he stays in the Atom form because if he changes back, I think they did kind of this in that cartoon. If he changes back, is like sometimes like he'll just age into death.
Oh.
But no, with Arlen, what you were hypothesizing, I think a period piece would be the best way to do it, and just disregard everything that we just talked about.
Well, set at the end as that kind of speech that you get in the beginning of Shazam.
Right, and it's the best way to have him be a hero in this movie and be a villain in Shazam 3, I guess. Because our next, So this is the other thing.
Good luck.
I've had this rant sort of broiling for like 2 weeks now because of people talking about the Snyder Cut. Shazam is the second most successful movie that they've done if you're excluding BVS. And
arguably, I would say the best movie they've done.
If you're talking about everything, if you're talking about audience reactions, critical reactions, and box office all together, it's their second most successful movie, period. Like, real
quick, sorry. I've watched everything. I didn't watch all of Aquaman because it just didn't click. It didn't click for me at the time. I need to give it another chance. But Shazam was just joyful. Like it was just a fun movie.
And again, it's not a character most people cared about beforehand.
No.
So I feel like this could only do really well for them if the movie is good and they
Can-
promote
I
it
just say,
correctly. Go ahead.
Of all the DC like EU movies, the ones that I enjoyed the most and had the most fun were like Birds of Prey and fucking Shazam.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, the ones
they're probably
based
my
off
two
of
top
virtually
favorite ones.
nothing. I
I agree with one of
But
those.
it's weird because like
statements.
those are like Shazam, like Captain Marvel, Shazam, and Harley Quinn, which are like popular characters, but they're not like Batman and fucking Superman. It was like you should have your main heroes have the best movies. You know, how do you fuck up your main heroes' movies?
It's weird. It's almost like the pressure causes them to just not be able to deliver. Like, because it's Superman and because they're Batman, maybe they're just over-examining. I wanted to make sure I was correct here. Like the box office on Shazam, it's not crazy numbers, but again, it's Shazam. Shazam should not be like huge numbers, but it's still one of their most successful movies.
Yeah.
I mean, just not to make it too much about Marvel, because I think at this point the comparisons with Marvel are a little crazy. But I would say he was about as well known as the Guardians were before Guardians 1. Am I correct, or is that a?
I think he's a little more well known, but still not.
Well,
like,
he did have he showed up in some stuff,
possibly,
and he had a show in what, the 70s?
Yeah,
the Shazam and Isis Hour.
So he has a little bit extra because of a smaller,
But he's from a bygone, he's from he's from another company originally, right?
Yeah, I think Timely or whatever. But the other thing is he was also a big part of Kingdom Come, and that's a comic that people who don't read comics have even been like, oh yeah, check that out because the art is amazing in it, and he's a really big part of it.
Enough.
Yeah, it is. It is.
He's a major section. I have that absolute. It's fucking gorgeous.
It's probably one of my top 5 stories. Kingdom Come of it.
Yeah, so I can see where he has a bit more appeal than, or at least audience knowledge than Guardians of the Galaxy did. And I mean, I think Shazam, if we're gonna do apples to apples with Marvel and DC, just do this real quick. I think Shazam was kind of their Guardians of the Galaxy film. It didn't do as successfully, but it was the thing that people are like, what are you doing? And it ended up doing well.
On paper, Shazam should work as one of the easiest things to make money off of, because it is a little kid's dream. You are a kid who says a word and you turn into Superman.
Yeah.
That is the plot of Shazam.
And they did creative things with the movie. They didn't just do a basic story. They're like, okay, we're gonna add some cool.
It's so good. I like it better than Aquaman, a lot better. And it does, there are some really
was that
heartfelt stuff in that movie, but that movie should be the easiest of the not big names to do.
Sure.
The thing about Shazam too, it makes a lot of the other shit look sad. Where it's the Superman movie, his parents are fucking abysmal and fucking shitty.
Yeah. Well, so again,
the kids are fucked up, and then the parents in Shazam are fucking great, and the family's great.
So again, for a little additional context, Man of Steel only made twice as much as Shazam. Man of Steel. The movie with Superman in it, the most famous comic book character who has ever existed.
Yeah, the launch film of the DCEU, quote unquote. Yeah.
Green Lantern?
No, not
Superman
Green Lantern.
Should make $1 billion.
Because they were still talking about rolling that into the DCU during Justice League, right?
Kill me.
Because that's what Snyder wanted to do.
Green Lantern. They wanted to roll Green Lantern into the DC.
He wanted Ryan Reynolds to show up.
He did because I think for him it was let's give somebody else a victory lap as well. If I get a victory lap, I might as well give this guy who I.
I think it was before. I think it was even before the Snyder Cut filming. I think it was when he was filming Justice.
I remember there being rumors of that. I know that that was a thing before Green Lantern had actually come out. That they were talking about it in that way, that they were possibly gonna do a team up.
You remember that movie came out with the same year as Iron Man?
Yes. No, it came out the same year as like the Avengers.
Fuck.
Oh my
it was the
god, that's
same-
even worse. That's
It-
even worse.
Yeah.
Oh my god. God
Yeah,
damn you,
so-
DC.
Speaking of Shazam, Helen Mirren was cast in. Now, is this Shazam the sequel to Shazam
Yes.
or Black Adam?
No,
Okay.
it's
Shazam,
the
Fury
sequel
of
to
the Gods. She's
Okay.
Yeah, she is
Uh,
playing a character that's not a comic book character, but it's a mythological character. I'm gonna say it's like their version of Hela. I'm guessing
Oh,
Oh, good.
No.
ish. It's not as
Great.
evilly, but I'm guessing that's what they're going for. Like,
No, she's
great.
playing. What did she say her name was? Tempera?
Hespera?
Hespera.
Hespera.
Or
Hespera. Yeah, that's,
Hesperides is the.
She's the one of the girls who like has the pet dragon who guards the apple, the golden apples, the immortal apples, whatever they're called.
Oh, okay. So this is the girl who's also in like Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Also, I think.
Yes,
She's
yes,
the-
the one that
yeah.
the one that Grimm is in love with, the blonde.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but she's never been used in the comics.
Right, but she does fit very well
Or
with
no, she
everything that
fits.
we've set
It's
up
just
with
it
Shazam.
kind of sucks. I would have loved if they would have turned more into the weirdness, and we could have
Yeah.
gotten stuff in.
I think we'll get some of that too. Like they didn't set up the caterpillar for nothing. He
Yeah,
was
And
there.
Mr. Mind.
Mr.
Yeah.
Mind, how dare
Yeah.
you? The most evil of
Hell-
all evil villains in the DC universe.
I
Um,
just-
Mirren looks
I just
great
want the
for
tiger.
75.
Well, I was just saying, like they should have gone to what is the the world's names? This is it Jungle World.
I have no idea.
Absolutely.
It's-
I don't think them announcing this villain means that they won't do a lot of the things that you're expecting
Yeah.
them to do.
I like my point is like they did, although it's a very book that's had many problems because I think Johns is on it, which is a whole other thing. But it's
How the mighty
the
have
newer
fallen.
yeah, I know. Or not or haven't.
Yeah.
But one of the things that was cool that they did with the newer Shazam book, was that like they had them going to the different worlds, and that's how they got Tawny in. Was like there's a world of like all the animals are alive, and then there was like
Okay.
the kids world, and Mr. Mind's plan was to open up the one that was locked, which was the monster world where he comes from,
Okay.
and that would have been a really fun thing for
Well,
them.
they
do.
can still potentially do that because
Right.
I mean they
Yeah.
introduced the doors in the first one, and
Yeah,
that's where
that's
they can
and that's
pull a
where
ton
the
of stuff
doors.
from.
Yeah, all that
I mean-
door stuff would have been fun.
I'm just gonna put this out there. One of those doors is where Hespera comes from.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I could very much, in my mind, I'm actually seeing something very similar, at least in terms of structure, to Thor Ragnarok.
What a shock!
Where there is a villain who's probably Mr. Minds, who's doing a thing, and then the Shazam family, or maybe just Billy, and somehow the rest of them, by being separated from him, they can't use their powers somehow. They are on Earth having to deal with everything else, and he is traveling through many other worlds, having to deal with stuff there. He runs into Hespera, who is sort of in the Goldblum role. Perhaps, who knows? They could do anything that they want with it, and I honestly, I'm here for it because they earned my trust a lot with that last movie. So
Yeah.
Wow. Helen
What's
Mirren
up?
and Liam Neeson were a thing?
Apparently,
yeah.
Damn, in the 80s. God, I would have watched
I
that.
mean, in the
Hey,
80s,
you have like the best tits, and the person who's been written about as having an
She's still
Indian
hot.
bottle.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
think
you're
of
saying
it like
she's good
this.
for 75.
This is a period in the 80s where a lot of the British actors who were like the biggest right now, they all knew each other. They were sleeping in each other's apartments. They were going to the same
There was
bars.
lots of cocaine.
Doing the same coke.
Yeah. So like,
Oh, you know what they were?
you
they
bet that there was an
Oh,
orgy with
You know
Patrick
what it was?
Stewart
It's-
and Liam
it's
Neeson.
Excalibur.
Yeah.
Did we say that? It's Excalibur.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Excalibur, exactly.
that
Gabriel
what he calls
Byrne was
it?
there, just being creepy, just being real weirdo. Just
Yeah, if you've never watched that movie, watch that movie and be like, oh, Liam Neeson and Patrick Stewart have always been 50 years old.
yes, they started at
That-
50, and they've just been slowly
Came out
aging
40
ever
years
since.
ago, goddamn.
Yeah,
Yeah, man, Excalibur's great. If you haven't watched it, watch it.
Yeah, it's
Um,
fantastic.
Back out.
All right, so the next thing on the list was Suicide Squad trailers, which
Oh man,
Yeah.
I'm
fully
so
excited.
excited. Yes,
Hey, it's a
Yeah.
James Gunn movie.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. That's why.
yeah, that guy knows how to like use characters instead of just like wasting them like the first Suicide Squad movie.
Yup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I was like, oh, really? Like in the first trailer was Harley's line at the end of it. It's like, oh, it's like Angel splooging on us. Like,
I
come
actually thought that was funny because it wasn't typical psychopath shit. She was just being very like stupid and sweet. You know what I mean? It kind of
yeah,
made me
I
laugh.
just,
I
Yeah.
found
I
it
don't-
funny because my grandma would always say it was angels crying. Something like
Right.
that. The tears would like give life to her, whatever to that. So that's why I find it funny. I was like, damn, grandma. Imagine my grandma saying,
I thought it was
Alright.
funny because like it's Harley just being like kind of innocent and like in this weird situation, you know, like they're probably gonna die.
You know, I never thought of it like that, but that is kind of Harley being
yeah,
innocent
yeah,
by
yeah.
Harley standards.
yeah,
it
it's
just-
kind of, I don't know, it's humorous to me.
it just initially it struck me as like, oh, come on, like that just
Yeah.
it struck me as kind of trying to be over the top to just be over the top. Everything else looks great.
That's James Gunn, though.
I know,
Yeah.
I
Right,
know.
and I get the feeling that maybe you don't feel exactly the same way about this, Eric. For me, whatever she says as Harley, I'm in. Like for some reason, her performance as Harley, I laugh at
She's
like
really good. Yeah.
C tier jokes that are just non-starters otherwise. Because her performance, I'm just automatically there. So
I think her performance is good. I
the quote
and I
Kid
know
Flash
it's
and
you
her
expect
being hot
more.
has nothing to do with it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know she's a.
So
I know
you're
she's a great
saying that
actress, and I
Arlen is
expect
being a
more out of a James
misogynistic
Gunn.
white man all podcasts?
No, I don't know. That feels like too much like James Gunn going back to Trauma for me. Like
Sure.
I know he's a better writer than that. So that's
Well,
why I'm kind of like,
I do
But
like what we
everything
see
else-
in the trail. Oh, my favorite part of the trail, though, can I just say this, is John
Mhm.
Cena. Like, I
Yes.
never
Yeah.
thought that, like, him being this douchey straight man, and I do think of any time to do a character like that with Falcon and Winter Soldier going on, it's like, oh, you're basically having him be John Walker, but
I would
a
say even-
cartoon of it.
but that's the thing. I would say even
He's like the
further than that,
Homelander, but like he doesn't know that he's evil.
yeah, he's Captain
Yeah.
America,
Yeah.
but he's an asshole. Like
He thinks
he's
He's John Walker.
he's
Yeah.
well, yeah,
He's
but
worse
I
than
mean,
John Walker.
But I mean, he's like MAGA Captain America.
Oh yeah,
Like-
that's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is definitely
But
that.
the thing about John Cena knows how to like. He's a decent actor, but he's great at like the comedic stuff too, like being like this
Mhm.
deadbeat,
Well,
like
the thing is-
seriously comedic, like you know.
Yeah,
Well, that's what the thing
Yeah.
is. Like
that
in the
line
trailer,
that he
you get.
has where he's all sorry.
No, go
No,
ahead, Leo.
Say the line that he has that made me cackle. He's all like, "I love freedom so much that I would
Yeah.
kill any man, woman, and child to secure it." I was like, "What the
Yeah.
fuck?"
Yeah,
Peace.
but that's that
So,
character.
I don't think only Peacemaker's like, yeah, I love peace. Like, I want
Oh, yeah.
one
I
piece so
love it
much that I
so
kill
much.
any man, woman, children to achieve it. And it's
Yeah.
like,
You can
What the
like
fuck?
that's what you watch that trailer. Like, all right, I understand why they greenlit him to have his own TV show as this character.
Yeah.
I can't wait for
he,
that.
he has fucking charisma. Like, despite
does.
whatever your
But-
opinion of him as a like, he's
Yeah.
got like
Yeah.
that fucking like
Well,
something.
is
special
it like what you
something,
said?
Yeah. And he
He's
sells
so
humor. All wrestlers are good at humor.
yeah,
They all.
well, he's so
Yeah.
good at being the straight man that doesn't
Yeah.
realize he's doing stuff that's funny, which is one of the hardest things to do. Like
Yeah.
what he's
Yeah,
doing is
that
being
even goes
funny
back to
without making
the-
jokes.
That even goes back to the Amy Schumer movie that he was in.
Oh
where he
yeah,
plays
that, he's
the-
great in that.
Before that, though, he was in that movie about he and two other parents, their daughters are going to prom, and
Oh
they're-
no, that was after.
Yeah.
Blockers.
that was after,
Blockers
but
was
yeah,
after.
no,
Oh,
it's a
that
good
was.
point. Still,
Okay.
like he's very,
Yeah,
he's
he
very
was
funny
great
in
in
that.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
We get to see his ass in that movie. Like he sticks a thing in his ass.
I think you see
beard.
his ass in both of those movies.
Yeah, he butt
Um,
chugs. Yeah,
Yeah.
in the Amy
There's a
Schumer
part-
one, they
there's a
had to
part
build
where,
him.
Sorry.
They built him a wooden fake penis for the one scene.
That's right.
There's a part of Suicide Squad trailer where you see him just like shirtless laughing, but I'm like, he's like, why is he so convincing? Just like anything he does, like it doesn't,
Well,
it doesn't like he's acting. It seems like he's genuinely just being that role.
well, that's where again it
he
goes
was-
to great casting because like people were like, oh, he should have been Captain America, like or like when Captain America's in the house, his name got thrown around, and it was like, it's
No.
kind of perfect that he's this.
yeah. He's got
Yeah.
the dark comedy kind of
Right.
like ridiculous over the top
And,
serious guy.
and Idris Elba is perfect as being like
Yes.
Yes.
He's the most straight man because he's just like I'm just a mercenary and I'm stuck with these fucking assholes.
Well, but not just that, he's dime store Deadshot,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
being
Which is fine.
Bloodsport. And then like
And
and
King
what's his
Shark.
name is Stallone's King Shark is so good to just like
Yeah.
we'll just have Stallone be his juice be his juice headiousness like
Yeah. He's
like
like a cartoon character.
no, but like King Shark is like, to my mind, and I hope this is it, like King Shark is like a live action version of Bro Science. Like of like the gym, like those gym guys like, oh, you gotta eat like avocado's got like beta-3 proteins, bro.
King Shark's not even that smart. He's just like, hey, I eat and I fight a shark.
I like that
I
he's
just
wearing like just boxers. Like that's what he's not wearing
Yeah.
like pants or anything. He's just boxers. He's like,
Well, so
This is what fits.
with King Shark though, was that just misdirect that Steve Agee was going to be doing his voice?
No, Steve Agee's doing the mocap.
The mocap.
Oh, okay.
Like how Sean Gunn is doing the mocap for Weasel, which is basically shitty raccoon.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hope he lives at the end, like he's just like in the rubble. He's like in the mess of like
I could
Starro's
like,
corpse, and he's like, eh.
I think a lot we're gonna get like there's Team A that opens the movie and all of them die, and that's where Harley gets captured.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I mean that's.
I like
when...
how.
Go
Sorry.
ahead. No, go ahead.
So Harley Quinn, in a lot of the trailer, you can see her holding the big spear thing and Javelin's weapon. So Javelin flew the board, probably gets fucking taken out, and she just picks his weapon. I'm like, he's not gonna eat
I'm
it.
assuming Nathan Fillion is in like 45 seconds of this movie.
Yeah.
And most of that is like.
I'd say he's at least like 10 minutes in. Or like
I think most of
like
his time is going to be an insane intro, and then he's just going to get vaporized.
The second trailer that dropped yesterday, you actually see his arms disconnect at one point in whatever the fight is in the jungle.
Yeah, I feel like that's gonna be his thing where he's all like, "Oh, he pretends to get hit, his arms fall off. He's like, that's my power," and then he gets shot for real. He's like, "Oh, well, it didn't do anything."
Yeah.
Are they
what
going
if
to Santa Prisca? Is that the plot?
What?
I think
well,
so.
it's a South American. I don't know if it's the same Santa Prisca. But it's
I
like
feel like that they're
place.
not saying it, but they're going to Santa Prisca.
I want Bane to be in this movie
confirmed.
so fucking bad. I want a live action, like accurate Bane, and I fucking.
Oh, you mean a Bane who like is Hispanic and actually is like smart?
Yeah, and, yeah. So this is just my fantasy. This is my fantasy. This is what I would do if I was directing a movie. I'd have it where like whatever the story is, they're going through mercenary shit, black ops type stuff for the government, and then like I'd have it either in the middle or like near the end. I have them like oh, you gotta go take out this fucking convoy of cartel or whatever. I don't know. But like I'd have it where like Bane would just fucking show up and just kill half the team.
Well, Bane was in the Suicide Squad for a bit too.
Yeah, he's in Secret Six also, which is a really great comic. You guys should read.
Yeah, I think before Blackest Night, he was the leader. Like he was team leader of the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, but Secret Six is great because it's kind of like Suicide Squad, except they don't have bombs. They're just like, hey, just dangerous mission.
They're going to Corto Maltese.
Yeah.
Sorry. They're going to Corto
Maltese. Did they confirm that it's Corto Maltese?
Okay.
Oh, yeah. They're using the fake.
Yeah.
That's like the historically Hollywood fake island thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. One of my favorite things about it is that there's an actor named Joaquin Cosio, and he's been in a lot of like Mexican like TV movies and things, and like I know he's not going to be a big thing. He seems to be like the bad guy general of this movie, but I'm just like, when I saw his name,
he was a Bond villain.
I was like, oh.
Just I'm looking at some of his pictures here. Oh, he was in Beelzebub. Okay, that's why he looks familiar.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff. He's in Narcos,
what
Mexico, and yeah.
My friend's friend made a Netflix show called Gentefied, and it's pretty good. And he's like a main character. It's pretty good. I mean, there's things every now and then where I'm just like, but again, we watch it because the homies are the homie, gotta support.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's in that, and like, it's really cool to see him in this. I don't expect he'll be in it much, but again, I've seen him growing up, not understanding Spanish when I was a kid, and recognizing that guy. He's another guy who's like always been old, and seeing him in a DC movie, it's just really cool. I'm excited.
This one photo I'm going to put in the chat. I saw this when I was looking through stuff, and he looks like he could be related to Guillermo del Toro.
Is he just
looks
like a heavy Mexican dude with a beard?
just no.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
absolutely right.
Oh my
Yeah,
god,
no.
he's Guillermo del Toro's like he's like
his cousin or something. Yeah, because it's not it's not just as you said, Lou. I'm not that much of a stereotyper. It's the shape of his mouth and nose in that photo. But yeah, he looks like he could just be like the cousin of Guillermo.
Yeah.
But
he's the one that didn't get as fun of a name. He's just like John Del.
exactly.
He's John Del Toro.
Exactly.
He is the oh my god, what is the brothers that are actors and one has been like nominated. Shit.
Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez.
No. No, what's the one that's in like? Oh, I'm gonna say like what one of the younger one is in the remake of the football prison movie with Adam Sandler, and the other one is in Mr. Deeds with Adam Sandler.
Burt Reynolds.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Oh my god!
Down some,
I'm too
some
many beers in.
Yeah, you're doing down some Wikipedia like rabbit hole here.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
anybody else have
you're
anything
going
else
into
they
some
wanna
Helen territory?
Talk about Suicide Squad here.
I just want to say that I'm excited because there's so many reasons. Like James Gunn does good stuff. The actors, the cast is great. Like visually looks cool. Like I don't know, just everything about it seems like it's on point. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Part of me, and this is the petty part of me, but I really hope he knocks us out of the park just so Warner Brothers can be like, fuck. Fuck. Because he's gonna come back and Guardians will.
Yeah, it's like
point to it being good.
It's so good that Marvel does was like, we fucked up. You come back. And who was thinking it was the Totoros, John and Nick Totoro.
Most of the cast of Guardians of the Galaxy probably didn't want to continue without him.
Yeah.
Well, I just love that like Batista is like an actual real actor now just because of James Gunn.
Batista's a great actor.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Shockingly
good. And just because Arlen said it, do you know where Batista's first acting role was?
I forgot.
The man with the golden arms? What was it called? The man with the metal arms?
Yeah, he was on Smallville.
Oh, shut up.
Oh, I remember that episode. He kicked Clark's ass.
Yeah, he's on Smallville. He plays an alien that eats people's spines, if I remember correctly.
He sucks out their bone marrow.
Nice.
I want to die. All right. So, Izza, you had a joke about Space Jam you wanted to say.
Okay, so give me a little bit of time to just so Space Jam trailer came out. I know I'm like, hey, it's probably for kids. I mean, like, I was a kid when I saw the first Space Jam, but I'm like, I wasn't expecting this. Oh, well, I wasn't expecting this to appeal to me because I'm like, I'm an adult, but it might be cool. So I watched it. I was like, okay, well, I'm not like being too critical. I'm just like, oh, whatever, it's gonna be a space. But then like I started noticing like so apparently it's Warner Brothers, so they're like they got Looney Tunes, right? And then it's like, oh, Hanna-Barbera characters, why not? And then it's like, wait a minute, the Iron Giant, the Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine, Pennywise the Clown.
Yeah.
Like they're throwing everything in there. Lord of the Rings characters, Game of Thrones for some fucking reason. But one of the fucking weirdest fucking things is that they have the gang members from A Clockwork Orange who are like rapists in that fucking movie. They're rapists.
Yeah.
It's Space Jam.
Well, I mean, let's be honest here. Like seeing Game of Thrones, I'm like, oh, so Foghorn Leghorn is going to get raped at some point too. Okay, cool.
I didn't get to the joke I made though. So, me and a couple of my friends were talking about it earlier, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna tweet this joke that I said because they laughed at it. I was like, hey, maybe I'll get canceled, but I don't know. But I was like, hey, it's pretty bold of Space Jam 2 to have a cameo of the Prophet Muhammad. Because they're not fucking stopping with just putting anything in there that they can. It's like,
oh my God.
They might as well.
See, like, as a sports ball fan, I looked at it and like LeBron's list of who he wants to see. I was like, of course you would, you fucking bitch. Like Superman and King Kong and Gandalf. I'm like, oh, you can't play by yourself.
He still want to pass him the ball.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you can't do anything on your own. God damn it! You need to have Superman on your team. Play basketball.
Yeah, it was like LeBron James. I am open. So he's like, no, I'm not passing you.
What if he got Henry Cavill as Superman in this movie?
You know, if they had balls, if they had real balls, they would do the J.J. Abrams Black Superman thing. And get Black Superman. But it would just be LeBron James, but like wearing a Superman costume.
You guys, there's some good memes coming out of this. So
Or they
I
could
have
just
one
get.
question though.
Do you think they
For
could
the
give
gua-
Obama enough money to like put him in a Superman costume?
Yeah, why not?
Because in that universe, Superman is also the president.
Yeah,
in one of them.
It's Calzad
Yeah.
or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
So wait,
is-
they have the whatever the group or the fuck they call from Clockwork Orange.
Mhm.
Next to a war boy
Droogies.
from Mad Max. An ethnic man in a suit. I don't know who he's playing.
What are
Some
the?
soldiers.
Oh, those are
medieval
white
soldiers,
masks, right?
They
Thundercats.
have the mask in there.
I think Lex Luthor's in there. They got the mask. The Scooby Doo gang.
Yeah.
Oh, is that-
Cowboys.
I didn't realize that was a war boy they were standing next to. It looks
Yep.
like. What
And
the
it's like-
fuck?
It's like that Ready Player One thing of like, hey, here's all the things from pop culture that it's just
It's
Right.
so-
It's
so
somewhere
Ready
Steven
Player
Spielberg
One.
is very sad. He's like, damn it. I
Yeah,
had
but
this idea.
Yeah.
either way, it's a bad idea though, because it's like, oh, surface level stuff
again,
of pop culture.
It's weird
Yeah.
to go back, like, because LeBron was really good in that Amy Schumer movie, like
Is that a
that John
Thundercat?
Cena's in, and
Yeah.
to go like, it's like, why do they need so much garbage to carry this movie, like to like
Yeah,
do
just-
in the trailer?
Because
feel like
this,
they could've just-
this isn't a movie
Yeah,
for
you go ahead.
kids. It's for
Right.
it's for the people who like Space Jam when they were kids.
No, it's not
But
even for
I-
them.
I
It's for,
was,
it's
and I
for
don't
the
like it.
I
executives to
don't
make
even
money.
want to watch this.
Yeah, well, that
I
too.
don't even want to watch
All I have
this.
to say
This
is like,
movie's not for anyone.
Right.
it's definitely not for R.
Yeah.
Kelly.
It's not
I
for
mean,
kids.
you're
like,
like,
oh,
so
yeah,
one
okay.
time-
What the fuck?
Oh, I didn't
God
get this
damn it.
movie.
What the
No
fuck?
fucking focus.
Also, how like Jordan's in the movie, I assume.
Mhm.
Do they
Yeah,
bring
he
back?
probably doesn't even care. He's probably like half-assing it.
Oh
Yeah.
no, they cut him.
Oh, you
He's
mean
had,
like he did in
7
the first one?
divorces.
Yeah.
He's had like 7 divorces. No, that was him
He's
actually
like, they
trying
stole
to
your
act.
kid? He's like, they stole your kid? Fuck that kid.
Like, do you think that
bringing the
they
joke
get
somewhere.
Newman? Do you think they get Newman and
Bill Murray?
like the other actors in it? Like, do you think that they can pull them back in? Do you think that they would
Sure.
even do that?
I don't really
I mean,
care.
they were able to get the Looney Tunes, so maybe.
I have no connection to this movie because
Yeah,
I
you
was
guys see that
not
when I
It's
posted
because
1,000.
Eric, you came out when like
So-
all these cartoons weren't racist.
So Eric doesn't care, and I'm the person who's like, I do not give a shit. This is a thing from my childhood that I was fine letting be buried in the dust.
Same.
Just gone forever.
I think I'm in the
But I
weird.
was also
I'm in
like,
the weird
hey, if
thing.
they want to bring it back, fine. Kids might enjoy it. But then
Yeah,
once I saw the
sure.
trailer, I was like, what is this? Who's this for?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know who this is for either.
I'm in the age group between the two of you, and I'm like, this is so insulting because like Space Jam is great because it's so fucking dumb. Like, why are you trying so hard? Don't try so
So okay,
hard.
I feel like there's multiple angles to this. Why this became a thing. So I feel like the MCU is kind of like partially to blame in a weird way because like, I feel like
Yeah.
the MCU was successful mostly, and once Endgame, Endgame had all these fucking Marvel characters that they kind of set up.
Oh, well,
And that was,
you
they
have
did
to
it
go back
well.
to
They did a good job.
who's making
Right.
this movie and all the things that they have learned wrong about the MCU.
Well,
Yeah,
but
exactly. It
that's-
was like they saw Endgame and they're like, oh, people love this. It's successful. They had all these shitload of characters at the end. We could do that, but it's like, no, you didn't earn or build up any like.
Yeah,
You can't just throw
exactly.
any fucking character. It wasn't just like
and
All I
don't-
know is like I want Darkseid to show up in the second half of the game.
and I don't
All
I
the
don't
villain team.
I don't know like because I don't know what kids like now, but do younger kids actually even watch like Looney Tunes at all? Like
Not
I
classic
don't
Looney
even know.
Tunes. The-
I
like
bet they
don't even know who most of them are.
You have a great point, which I agree with. I feel like maybe there's some kids that might know Looney Tunes. Maybe some might
Yeah.
not, but I feel like
They know
that's
Bugs
not too
Bunny.
bad. But I feel like
They know
they'll
Bugs
be-
Bunny, and that's probably it.
well,
Yeah.
let
No,
us
but
finish.
I feel like
Yeah.
Looney Tunes might have some exposure to like younger kids, even if they didn't watch it like us. But
right.
then there's the Hanna-Barbera stuff, which is like, hey, that's kind of fine. Hey, put that in there. Maybe kids ain't gonna know who the fuck Jabberjaw or fucking
No, the,
or Grape Ape or fucking
Yeah.
Miguel Gorilla is, but
kids
still,
might
they still
know
could have put in there, right?
Top
They
that.
should have stopped at Hanna-Barbera.
yeah. So
That's
some
it.
of the
They just started
Hanna-Barbera
that.
stuff they've done more recent reboots, and on the Looney Tunes front, even when we were kids, they were doing like new versions of Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
They were doing like the Looney Tunes babies and stuff like that, and they were still
no,
running
how
with
dare
Merry
you.
Melodies.
How dare you
Um,
say that name wrong? Tiny Tunes
Tiny Tunes.
by the
Whatever
same
it was
creators
called.
as
I
the
don't-
Justice League Unlimited by Paul
and
Dini.
and
It's the
Steven
same-
Spielberg was an
Oh.
executive producer.
Lou,
Um,
Lou, I do not care.
Well,
No,
that's-
it was it was Looney Tunes babies, Lou. It was literally Bugs as a kid in Dave.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
they
something
both
very
existed.
different. I'm talking
Yeah.
about Tiny Toons. Was like
No,
when
I
a
was
kid.
not talking about Tiny Toons. I was talking about Bugs going to daycare. That's
Wait,
what
they
I
did
was
like
referencing.
Muppet
that was a
Baby,
thing. That was a thing.
The Looney
Like
Tunes.
from my perspective, like when I was growing up, like Looney Tunes were omnipresent. Like they were on Nickelodeon edited. They were on TNT.
You only had
they
5
They were on
channels.
Urban Clothing with like Bugs Bunny
So-
and Taz wearing
they had
Jordans and a hat back.
my
with-
memory is
Tweety
they
Bird
had
with
like
the clock.
they had a
You could-
resurgence in the 90s. They were showing it on Cartoon Network frequently, like during as their filler.
Well, that's because they didn't have anything to show on Cartoon
Yes.
Network. They hadn't
Yes.
rated Canada's animation labs yet. Well, and that was one thing is with what you said about and they were on Urban Clothing. You could always tell who the white trash in my school were by the people who bought the knockoffs
Yes.
of those.
Oh, you tell me like the kids who like you didn't go to Six Flags and get like a Tasmanian Devil T-shirt?
No,
No, not just that. It was the ones that were like, oh, it's like some Urban Clothing where it's like
I know
a
what you
big
mean.
T-shirt with like them
Tweety
wearing
Bird is-
Jordans and like
Tweety
and
Bird
hats-
is smoking a
hats
blunt that
backwards
says
and-
tweet and it says tweet tweet.
No. It was just like
no.
it was
Listen.
just them like not even. I don't want to say b-boy pose because that would be 80s.
No,
like,
they were doing.
oh,
B-boy
really?
poses.
They were okay.
Like
but
arms
yeah,
crossed.
yeah,
to
back
I
to back.
remember,
and, like,
seeing Taz with like grills on shirts and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what
Listen,
I'm
I'm
thinking
gonna
of
find
is
it because
more like
it's hard to explain.
Yeah.
If you like, haven't
it's
seen
them
it.
Like,
Yeah,
them
all
wearing
them doing
overalls
drugs.
with
It's like
them with wearing overalls with like one of the straps undone and hats
Listen,
on
I
backwards.
vividly remember there's one, for example, with like Bugs Bunny and like Taz or something. They're both doing like b-boy poses. One's wearing like a Yankees jersey. They got Timberlands, Jordans, jeans that are baggy, and it's like
it's always
decided on
Taz.
this?
It's always Taz, Bugs, and Tweety, and maybe
Yeah.
Marvin the Martian.
Oh god,
Yeah.
there's apparently newer stuff because there's
Yeah. I've gone to
kicking
the
in
swap
at
meet
all-
and they're still there. Yeah.
oh god. But no, I can remember seeing one that like Bugs and I think Daffy were specifically wearing like cross color clothing, which
I'm
is just a
gonna
very
drop a picture
confusing
in
thing.
here of like some shit I've seen. If the internet wants to like work with me, because it's
Well,
not-
you're in
that
a
one
garage.
feels a
What do
little
you
more
expect?
mild.
I feel like I would have
Yeah.
read these
That feels a little
ironically
more
now.
Oh yeah,
At
yeah,
old
100%.
school.
Well, I'm sure there's somebody at like a vintage shop that's selling them for like $80 a piece.
I can guarantee you, if tomorrow if I went down to the Compton Shopping Center, or whatever it's there now, there's a stand that has that.
Oh god. Oh god.
Oh my.
These are terrible. These are
Yeah,
wonderfully
People,
terrible.
hey, I would see people wearing these regularly middle school days.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah. So yeah,
There
Space
was-
Jam is for no one. Like, I just
so I think the point you're trying to make is I know so people might know Looney Tunes, but I don't know if anybody now where Looney Tunes is their favorite thing. I think that's the important aspect.
Okay,
there.
no, that's
There
There
people
was,
that
there
might
was
know
2
it.
weeks. There was 2
can I
weeks
say
where my
something real quick?
nephew. Yeah.
No, you go. You finish. Okay.
I'll say there was like 2 weeks where my nephew, because of a YouTuber, kept like I guess playing clips of like the Looney Tunes. He kept saying
Right.
like "What's up, Doc?" and like eating a carrot. But that was the extent
Yeah.
of it. That was the extent
Yeah.
of it. And if
Yeah,
I
like-
showed him Bugs Bunny, he recognized him, but that's about it.
but
You
yeah,
know,
he would-
yeah.
Go ahead,
I
Arlen.
want to go on a full
There are
rant, but
people
I
that
have a
love
lot.
Bugs Bunny. There are people that love Bugs, but other than that, they don't know anything else. That's like it's just a thing that they see, but they don't really love it.
yeah, they
yeah.
don't know about like the rabbit in the hair episode where like at the very end Bugs's accomplices all shoot themselves with a single gun like they're standing in a row and they
Yeah.
had to edit that out on Nickelodeon. Like it just I don't know. It
Well, that's because all
Mm.
the leftist pinkos canceled all the Looney Tunes.
Jesus Christ.
God damn
Well,
it.
can I just make a point though? I feel like
Yeah, go ahead.
so-
go ahead.
Yeah.
these are valid points where it's like, hey, kids might not know the Looney Tunes or the Hanna-Barbera characters. Maybe they will, but then it's like
Right.
they kept going too far. Where it's like,
Yes.
my nephew's not gonna know who the fucking Jabba Joe is, or the Clockwork Orange rapists, or fucking Game of
Or the-
Thrones character.
I mean, that's a very
Why are the
strange
Game of
kid
Thrones
if they
characters-
know.
Yeah, like they went to. It's
Yeah.
so deep that it's like I'm gonna have a hard time explaining fucking Jabba Joe to my nephew. Then it's gonna be like, hey, who's that? I can't explain to you who the War Boys
Right.
are if you haven't seen it. Like
Mhm.
it's just like
Yeah, it's for everyone and no one at the same time.
Yeah.
Plus, all the furries are mad because Lola's not.
Because they took,
Right, you can't
they
even
took
count on
Lola's
them.
tits away. I'm so angry. I punched my drywall. All right, so
We're just reading Hunter's Twitter.
So the next thing strikes me as very much an Arlen story.
Well, so for a little context, Eric Sayor was going to be on here.
Okay.
That was the plan,
Yeah.
and I figured that there would be more to talk about with him on. So yeah, no, Alex Garland has a new movie coming out. They're shooting it, I guess, and Jessie Buckley from Fargo, and I cannot remember the name of the Netflix movie featuring her and another fellow previous Fargo co-star. And she's in it. I guess it's a horror thing. Eric, you are big on to Alex Garland stuff like me, right?
I know the name. I can't remember.
Annihilation, Ex Machina.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'll watch anything Alex Garland puts out. Just give it a try. You know, it might not always be exactly what I'm expecting, or I might not come away loving it, but I'm still going to enjoy it at least. So yeah. I mean, that's all I really have to say about that.
Yeah, that's all it really. It's a movie called Men. It takes place in a house somewhere. Jessie Buckley's great. If you've seen her in anything,
movie at any time.
That's all we know. It takes place in a secluded house, so real original setup there.
I can see why Arlen brought
very
this
proud of
movie
my
up based on
film.
the
We
title.
filmed on location in house.
I'm thinking of Ending
Who's
Things
in it,
as the
Men?
Netflix movie. Yeah,
We're going to talk about the movie. It's called
Man and
stuff.
Woman.
No, women don't get it. There's subtitle.
Oh, this one I just posted is terrible.
Oh my fucking god!
Because that version of Bugs Bunny is dead. Anyways, yeah, it's Alex Garland. Like, sorry, I don't really have much to add about this.
Yeah,
I don't know if anybody else does. And what is this last one? Railroad Martin signs 5-year TV deal with HBO. Oh,
so
got it.
I refuse to call him by his name. He is Railroad Martin to me for all time because he looks like a train conductor.
Yes.
This was my way of talking about the fact that at least 5 different stories, or at least I thought, came out about him announcing things. I couldn't find one of them, but he signed a 5-year deal with HBO, which is strange considering how things turned out with Game of Thrones beforehand.
That's not his
Who
fault.
cares anymore?
They put all that on. What is it, D&D?
Yes, they basically.
But still, it's still
They
they
didn't
have
have
the
to-
name of the series.
They've canceled 3 different spin-offs, and I'm not sure about this most recent spin-off that they announced actually happening either.
Hey, maybe before he announces these 5 deals, he should announce his last book is coming out. That's the Game of Thrones
last
series.
book.
Maybe
He is like
Isn't it 2? Isn't it 2?
He should publicly execute D&D. Like, I want him to behead them.
Aren't they doing their own Star Wars universe?
Oh, he should bury him under all the pizza boxes he's been living under then. Okay.
So I just want to point out some of these other stories because one of them is really funny. So Peacock, or the Cock as I'm going to call it from here on out, is adapting a Martin, I think, a book called Wild Cards. No idea what it's about, but
is that the one about people with powers?
I think it might be.
That is so vague. Yeah. That could be 8 other TV shows right now.
Yeah, that was a if I'm remembering correctly, it was a book series that came out a while ago. But like, there are people born with wild card. Some people are born with wild card abilities, and the aces are the people who have like ability of flight and all this other stuff, and the jokers are the people who get the shit end of the stick. And
not X-Men.
A lucky few are granted awe-inspiring superpowers. It
sounds very
the book is sort of an anthology thing. Some have physical deformities because of their abilities. So
so it's just somebody
X-Men.
took like vague
it's very
X-Men.
much George had an idea for X-Men.
It's like, what can we say? What can we? I have an X-Men story, but we don't have the rights.
Yes.
Well, because George is an old school Marvel fan, for those that don't know.
He used to write letters to the editor and stuff. There was like stuff of him doing that back in the day.
So that's why, you can find all kinds of weird stories, but he talks about how Marvel inspired his style of writing. Quite
shocking.
frequently.
Oh, that says not
A lot.
not great things. What era of Marvel?
It was the character development that he was talking about. It was the fact that characters have interpersonal drama and that they're just not always good all the time. That they're complicated.
I could see
and
him being
complex.
very Claremontian fan.
Yes.
Like,
so the other story that made me laugh is Paul W.S. Anderson. I'll wait for the laughs. Is to direct an adaptation of In the Lost Lands, and they're calling it a giant fantasy epic.
Starring Mila Jovovich.
Starring Mila Jovovich and Dave Bautista. I
didn't even know that. I was just throwing that out there.
Yeah, and it sounds like some real Paul W.S. Anderson bullshit, and that's gonna happen as well. And so yeah, like
no, it won't.
You say that, but remember, Paul W.S. Anderson is like one of the most successful directors. If you just go off of budget versus how much his movies make, it's kind of sad, but his movies are actually hugely successful. And yeah, I don't think Monster Hunter hurt his chances of getting this made. This might actually happen. I think a lot of other George R.R. Martin stuff isn't gonna happen because
you said his name right.
Yeah, because I was reading it actually because it was in front of me. It's like a phonetic thing. Is that right? I don't know. But no, Mr. Railroad is I don't know. It's weird to me that he is still popular. Like, I don't understand. Most people do not have like a good taste in their mouths after Game of Thrones, and maybe it is what you guys were saying about D&D. Taking a lot of that
it falls
weight.
on D&D because they still look at those books and like,
but they kind of just ruined it for me. Like, that show was so good in the beginning. How do you have a show that starts so good and then like ends so shitty?
Yeah,
and
but I think there's a lot of people are like, oh, it's not his ending, so it doesn't matter. So like,
but there's the fact that I sat through all that shit and had to watch that, and I was like,
I know, but the thing is, Lou, there's going to be a lot of people who aren't going to read the books. Like,
no, it's kind of this weird thing where it's like talking about J.R.R. Tolkien and The Hobbit, but Tolkien's still alive.
Okay, yeah.
Like in this case, like you know what I mean? Like, it's also like, as somebody who's like a big dude with a beard from New Jersey, I have to respect people like George R.R. Martin and what he does.
I'm not saying anything bad about him.
People.
I'm just saying, like, Game of Thrones itself is just like, I don't even care anymore. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm not
like,
sad when each of these spin-offs gets canceled. I'm like, all right, I expected that.
Note, though, isn't Connor like related to him somehow?
Yeah, he's like a second cousin or some bullshit. He's like a second cousin.
Yeah, all right, that's what I thought. I couldn't remember because when Lou mentioned the Jersey thing, I'm like, wait a minute, part of my head cracked open, and
as we learned, New Jersey is very small. It's incredibly small.
Well, yeah, I know it is very small. Like
Connor is one of the characters that he created.
Because there's a whole reading, and I think Martin's confirmed it. Like, Game of Thrones is his interpretation of like the tri-state area.
Really?
Yes, no, like I'm not even joking with you. Like, that is 100% like.
No, that you know what? When you say that, I'm like, no, that checks out completely.
Like the squids are like Staten Island or Long Island, and it's like.
Hey. My grandparents and my parents are from Staten Island.
No, like all the people with money work
in inland New York,
work in New York, but live in North Jersey.
The Brighton Tunnel people. Okay. Yeah. No, it's
wait. So wait, where I live like Winterfell because like we're north of the city.
Oh, you guys, you're over the wall. Yeah, you're the monsters over the wall.
I live in like Rockland County, which is like
anything north of the Bronx is fucking like wastelands.
Well, back in the 80s, the Bronx was a wasteland, so you know.
Yeah, I don't know
in the 80s. What are you talking about, man?
I haven't been there in years, so I can't really remember what it's like at this point.
The Bronx is great, but it's not like, you know. The
Yeah,
Bronx is
the-
good food. The Bronx is good food and good people, but also bad people, and also
Yeah,
it smells like
no, the
piss
Bronx
and
is Yankee Stadium and like some good Puerto Rican spots and like.
Well, no,
then,
I'm
like,
saying-
then
I,
it's-
I'm saying, like-
I love the Bronx a lot, but it also does smell like piss and garbage. So I can't. You know what I mean? Like there's good things about
that's
it.
where
like,
that's where my New York family lives. Like they live in
Yeah.
the Bronx still, but they're all
I'm
in
talking-
rent
Wait, so
control
Diesel
stuff.
and
I'm
Marrow
talking
just
about, like-
sugarcoat it?
I'm talking about like 1984, 85 Bronx, back before
Hey,
like,
hey.
Times Square had been completely cleaned
New
up.
York
Oh,
City,
see-
New York City in the '70s was on fire, and
Yeah.
like
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
Yeah.
You guys are forgetting that Eric's version of New York is the Warriors. He lived through it.
yeah.
Me
it's
and
like,
Leah over here on the West Coast, just like, what is this? What are
Well,
they
no,
talking
'cause,
about right now?
like, I'd visit my
All I
grandmother.
have are
who-
sunshine and rainbows.
Oh, fuck.
Oh yeah, see, yeah, New
We-
York City is
we-
the weirdest place. It's the most expensive place that also has all of the poorest people. In the country.
Eric's the one who shot Cyrus.
I don't have any bottles. I don't have any bottles on me right now. No, like because I can remember when I was like a kid, like I got to go to the Bronx Zoo exactly once because my parents were like, all right, we're gonna do this, and like they made it sound like they were going back to
Yeah.
Vietnam when we'd go.
No,
out
yeah,
there.
because you have to battle people on the subway. You have to battle crazy people and the smell of piss and shit.
Yeah,
Not
but the
really.
Bronx,
Panhandle
You just gotta ignore people.
Yeah,
You're
you
gonna
do.
battle them. You just gotta ignore them.
yeah, like Bronx
Yeah,
Zoo
we've
was
all
around,
heard this
though.
song.
Yeah.
It's
Does anybody
like a
else,
jungle sometimes. It makes you wonder why you
Does anybody else have anything they want to add about Mr. Railroad Magnate, or are we good to go and finish out this
Oh,
episode?
hey, when's Elden Ring gonna fucking come out?
When- oh yeah, the game
It's
that
not
he's
that,
working
that
on.
was an April.
Is there a
That was an
trailer for
April
that shit
Fool's
yet?
video. That was an
What
April
was that
Fool's
video?
video. That's it. That was an April Fool's video. It's not a real game.
Yeah, it's not a real game.
It's not.
I feel
Hey,
like
real
until I
game.
play it.
I would say, like, because he worked with Kojima already, like, I would put more money on there being another game before him finishing a book.
Yeah,
I
I can
guess.
see that. I can see that.
Oh,
But,
but how
yeah.
him and Kojima writing a game would actually be real fun. But
I think Kojima
the
Fun is one
insanity-
word that you could use.
Well, before we spiral down into another whatever the fuck that was going to be, this has been a news 2 hours almost. I have ostensibly been your host, Eric Fedorchak. You can find me at Eric_Fedor on Instagram. There's a picture of dogs and food and cats and comics. I'm also flying around the Phantom Zone, and two things. One, our buddy Izza, who's on here tonight, he's had some shit hit him, and there is a
Yeah, I'm still
GoFundMe set
still
up for him.
struggling pretty bad.
Yep.
Mhm.
So there's a GoFundMe up for him. Anything that you can give would be awesome.
Much
And
appreciated.
if you can't give, spread the word.
Yep.
We will have it in the show notes. And if
Thank you.
you go to the Phantom Zone, I think it's a pinned post, if I remember correctly, Arlen, isn't it?
If you can at least donate for
It
every
should
time
be a
that Arlen has
pinned
mispronounced
post.
his name.
Yeah.
All right. If not, I will post
How,
in the
how
Phantom Zone
dare
again.
you, sir?
I will
How
post
dare
it
you?
again.
We've
Arlen
been
gets a
posting it
pass.
many
Arlen,
times.
you're the one that mispronounced his name. It's like a cuss jar. Every time you mispronounce his name, you have to
Hey,
donate.
you know what? He can tell you off mic how many times I've actually donated in many ways.
Yeah, exactly. That's
No.
why he gets a pass. It's not a big deal.
Hey,
Yeah.
I've donated too. Like,
I know.
Yes.
I know. I'm just
I
saying.
appreciate it.
Can we not be arguing about how much we're helping our black friend here?
hey,
Would you prefer we argue about other things, though? Would
hey,
you prefer that we?
for the first time, the two white people, you need to calm yourself down. I do not consider Izza my black friend. Like,
You know what I
Exactly. He
mean.
was just friend. No, this is my
You
boy.
know what I mean.
Yeah.
But
oh, okay,
I feel
yeah.
like me and Leo like barely talking. We're still like, hey, we have mutual fucking like got each other's
Yeah.
back. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
If anything happens, I'm siding with Izza automatically.
Well,
It don't matter.
I mean, I'm just terrified you guys are going to take more music away from me.
Yeah, we're just gonna make
Oh,
another.
wow.
We're gonna make another
Wow.
a podcast called like the Blantham Zone.
That's it. You can't listen to Santana anymore, Eric. Sorry.
Oh god damn it!
Oh,
But
no.
how am I gonna enjoy "Smooth" by the delicious
You can't.
voice of Rob Thomas
Can't enjoy it.
and
You're
Carlos
taking it
Santana?
back.
God damn it! The other thing I wanted to add was that I was listening to NPR because I'm an ancient man, and they were talking about something that happened in Canada where an old man apparently killed a deer and then used its teeth as dentures to eat the meat of said deer. That is the way I want to
Aye.
live my life going forward. Is I want to
I
kill
mean,
things and use their own teeth
that's-
to eat their
that's not
flesh with.
That's not surprising considering on your Instagram I've never seen any vegetable.
Oh, well, that's because
I
vegetables
was
are
gonna
a
say,
side
like,
thing.
I don't know how, but I feel like that's a cultural appropriation. I don't know if it's of the deer or of somebody else, but it's there.
I just feel like,
Okay.
hey, you could have just went
Are
to
we
the supermarket,
supposed to be
dude.
in the plugs right now? Or, okay, can we?
Yeah.
All right, you can find me and all of the like more colorful folks on all of the other side shows because we're not normally allowed on the main shows. So the comic show,
Okay.
the watch
Yeah.
parties, Leo's there all the time. So follow,
I'm not-
rate, review, tell your friends.
Wait, are you ethnic too?
Yeah, Luis Gonzalez. I'm definitely not.
Yeah,
I forget, man. I forget
always-
his last name. I'm not good at last names.
Oh, yeah, I'm all of
I
the
was always
ethnics.
confused. Like I was like, who's Lou? I was like, who's Lou on the podcast? I always see Luis Gonzalez, but who's Lou? And there's like, oh, my
Yeah,
name's
it's
Lou
because
Gonzalez.
people
Oh,
can't
what the fuck?
pronounce it. Yeah, I'm half
yeah.
Puerto Rican, and the other side is Korean and all sorts of other stuff. I got a
Oh,
little
good.
Native
So, yeah,
American.
we're slowly taking
Yeah.
over the podcast. Let's do it.
Yeah, you are.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Honestly,
why I
go
say it.
ahead.
I get hired in places because I hit like 7 quotas as a single
Yes,
person.
All right, who's
He
next?
fills 2 slots.
All right, I will do my plugs because Lou cut me off there. Lazaro
As
podcast.
was my right.
Oh, yeah. White men never get heard. White men never get heard.
Yeah.
This episode should be called like Revolt.
Sure, why not? Where the fuck was I? That
Plug
show comes out when it comes out. Should be a new episode coming out tomorrow. With Eric Sayor, who was going to be on tonight, but he fell asleep. I don't mind saying that on here because why not? So yeah, listen
That would
to
have helped
when
our
that
percentages
happens.
of the podcast.
Yeah, he's French Canadian, and I don't want to get it wrong.
Yeah, say it.
Because I can't remember. But yeah. So that's my plug.
Arlen confirming if it's not white, it's not all right.
How dare you?
This is the episode
Worst
Arlen
man.
is canceled.
All right, who wants to go next? Lou, I think that's you.
No, I already went. It's
Oh, you did.
it's,
Okay.
You can follow me at young_Kame and send me all your MAGA. Send me all your
Feet
MAGA
pics?
thoughts.
Yeah, feet pics.
Send me all your furry pics as long
Your
as those
furry
furry
feet
animals
pics.
are white, right?
Yes. Yep.
Because
Yeah,
I
that's
a young_Kame, I agree with Grace Helbig that casting Temma Thompson as a dog was racist and gender bending the animal. And yeah,
very good.
I don't know what that. Yeah,
What?
that's my plug.
Yeah.
Grace Helbig
It-
sucks. Don't listen to her.
I haven't followed her since her G4 days, so I'm just like, okay, that's a thing that I didn't know was happening. So, yeah, all right.
All right.
Izza, did you have anything you wanted to plug?
I mean, like on Twitter, the Izza, the _IZA. I'm on other things you can probably find with the similar username that I feel like giving out. I mean, I don't know, just fucking stay in your house and get a vaccine or something.
Yeah.
There you
If
go.
you can't find him, try spelling Isa.
Oh, I'm gonna.
Yeah. Let's wrap this up.
Yeah, all right. With that, everybody, bye.
Bye.
Adios.
Yo, so.